rise and shine. Coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz nuts, start the show. Let's go. Spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java with a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning whiz is always best. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.
Good morning, all you fine people. What a day it's gonna be. It is Friday. It is Friday, and it is just getting started. The weekend is right upon us. What a morning it's gonna be. Good morning. How you doing, Stormy? Good morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, and Stormy has become a newest member. Well, thank you, and welcome. I love it. I love it. We've got Debbie Webb, Silhouette. That's cool. You have a trailer for your upcoming show. Yes. I try to put those in there almost every morning. I try to put in a trailer. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's always going to work. It's something that you have to do in your settings. Once you create the show, then you go in and you go into your control panel. Once you go into your control panel, then you can pull up a little thing that'll allow you to forward it to other people. I don't know if it will work before you're monetized, but you can, because I know you can't forward before you're monetized, but you may be able to go in there and edit and put a trailer. I don't know. It may only happen once your channel is monetized. So yes, I try to do those every morning if I can. I went looking for your show, couldn't find it. There you go. Let's see what else we got. You need to share it with Facebook only. Yeah. Let's see. What do we got here? Wow, Debbie, good to see you. Ugly Truckling, Tammy Bogard, and I think I saw somebody else in here. Nanny Goat, there you are. Good morning, Nanny Goat. How you doing? Yes, fly on the wall. Good morning, fly in chat. Good morning, everybody. It is going to be an interesting day. I am sure there's going to be all kinds of fallout because wow, we've got some interesting news for you this morning. What would that interesting news be? Rob Reiner drives himself bonkers post-election, checks into facility. Oh my gosh, the left are really having a difficult time coping with Donald Trump's victory in the 24 election. Some celebrities have even moved out of the country. On Wednesday evening, we learned that comedian and talk show host Ellen DeGeneres and her party, Portia De La Rossi, have moved to rural England, Cotswolds. It's not all that it seems, though, because they had already owned a home in Great Britain, but they're selling their Montecito, California estate. Not all celebs who claim to be worried about Trump dictatorship are leaving the country, though. Most are just leaving Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Over the past couple of weeks, we've seen a fairly steady stream of leftist personalities making a big production of the fact that they're leaving the Elon Musk owned platform for the latest alternative du jour, Bluesky. Personally, I find this hilarious because I thought the alternative platforms like Mastodon and Meta-owned Threads were supposed to be the brave new left-wing echo chamber on social media. That transition isn't going well. Good morning, Crafts. Filmmaker, producer, actor Rob Reiner has made Bluesky his alternative of choice. He was hoping to rid himself of opposing viewpoints, and well, he's finding that Trump supporters aren't making it easy for him to live in a left-wing echo chamber. Anyone continuing to post hate towards me here will be blocked. He posted on the platform on Saturday. I escaped the other place for a more peaceful time. I'm finding it very hard to sleep these days. It's 3:15 a.m. He posted later. I'm laying wide awake, dreading January 20th, 2025. The situation wasn't looking good on Sunday when he announced, I have big decisions to make for the good of my family, myself, and my country. Things seemed better the following day when he announced, after much discussion and heated debate with family, friends, and colleagues, I've decided for my own sanity and health moving forward to accept what's coming. He added, we have no choice, and as Americans, we must hope and allow Trump, after all these years of division, to unite these states of America. Aren't you proud? Reiner later declared that to help get through the next Trump administration, he would be focusing his time on family and work, and revealing that he's in the process of adapting a new script he's extremely passionate about. However, he must be addicted to social media. His inability to escape people who disagree with his politics has driven him over the edge. Here are some of his recent posts. All the abuse and hate from Twitter has now spewed over to here. There seems to be no point anymore. Donald Trump thinks he has gathered more together when he claims are his superheroes. The only superheroes I see are the Democrats who stand for democracy. The Democrat Party is the party of truth, honesty, and respectability. Republicans are the party of hate, dishonesty, and misinformation. Republicans have no idea what they've done. America has fallen. MAGA just do not understand the consequences of electing a fascist like Donald Trump. And he says this platform is vile, racist, and evil. It did not take long for MAGA scum to come spread their lies. Ellen DeGeneres, whom I have known for a long time, and is a beautiful and caring woman that had the right idea. She obviously does not want to be a part of this, a place that is filled with hate, evil, and fascism. Must respect to her for standing up to madness. And finally, his last post. I have made the decision to take the next few days to check into a facility for peace and relaxation. No phones, social media, no trolls, just calmness to heal my pain. Oh my. So there you have it. Rob Reiner has driven himself bonkers and voluntarily checked himself into a nut house. After Trump's... This is what happens when leftists convince themselves that Trump is a fascist dictator. Rob Reiner has gone so far as to check himself into a facility for peace and relaxation because he simply just can't handle the truth of the reality of Trump's victory. Sure, I wasn't thrilled when Barack Obama won in 2008 or when he was reelected in 2012. The 2020 election was exactly a highlight either, but you know what? I didn't let it drive me to the brink. It's already absurd that some celebrities are fleeing the country over Trump's win, but checking into a mental health facility over an election, it just shows how unhinged the radical left has become. Oh, farewell, so long. It's time to say goodbye. That's all I want to say to that. Oh my gosh. But of course, Illinois Supreme Court overturns Jussie Smollett's conviction. The Illinois Supreme Court has thrown out the 2021 criminal conviction of actress Jussie Smollett, who staged a fake hate crime in Chicago in 2019. Smollett's legal team argued that a prior non-prosecution agreement with the Cook County State's Attorney's Office and the decision by State's Attorney Kim Foxx to dismiss the original charges rendered the conviction invalid. The court sided with this argument, overturning the conviction. Soros-backed State's Attorney Kim Foxx initially dismissed all charges against Jussie Smollett after Chicago police determined he staged a hate crime, falsely claiming he was attacked by two men making pro-Trump remarks. The claims were absurd on their face, and investigators were skeptical from the beginning. However, the case unraveled quickly when the two men he hired to carry out the hoax confessed. Nevertheless, Smollett repeatedly insisted on his innocence, and Fox eventually dropped all charges, requiring Smollett to forfeit his $10,000 bond. State Appeals Court previously upheld Smollett's conviction in a 2-1 decision, but the dissenting opinion opened the door for the Illinois Supreme Court to take up the case, which Smollett's legal team successfully convinced the Illinois Supreme Court to hear his appeal earlier this year. With a brand new defense strategy, instead of maintaining his innocence in court filings, his lawyers argued that forfeiting his bond and performing community service constituted agreement with Fox to avoid further prosecution. They claimed the subsequent charges that led to his conviction violated that deal. The state Supreme Court ultimately bought that argument. Today, we resolve the question about the state's responsibility to honor the agreements it makes with the defendants. The rulings written by Justice Elise Rushford read specifically address whether the dismissal of the case by nolle prosequi, prosecutor, whatever, allows the state to bring a second prosecution when the dismissal was entered as part of an agreement with the defendant and the defendant has performed his part of the bargain. We hold that a second prosecution under these circumstances is a due process violation, and we therefore reverse defendant's conviction. Supreme Court Justices Scott Neville, David Overstreet, Lisa Holder White, and Mary O'Brien concurred with the opinion, while Chief Justice Mary Jane Thesis and Justice Joy Cunningham abstained. And NBC Chicago has more. Smollett's legal team has moved to dismiss the case on double jeopardy grounds, but the trial court denied both motions. His legal team also argued that he'd entered into a non-prosecution agreement with the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, but then again, the trial judge denied the motion according to the court's ruling on Thursday. During the appeal, Smollett's attorney, Nini Yuki, argued that previous agreements with the state's attorney office should have kept a trial from happening in the first place. Yuchi told justices that Smollett and his previous attorneys had struck an agreement with Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx that would have him surrender his $10,000 bond, perform community service in return for the actor not being prosecuted. Prosecutorial agreements that induce a defendant's specific performance should be enforced. Irrespective of how unpopular the defendant in the public's eye, a deal's a deal. But the deputy special prosecutor in the case maintained the deal not to prosecute didn't go so far enough to allow special prosecutor Dan Webb to convene a grand jury and file a new case against the Empire Star. Only a clear express dismissal of the charges with prejudice bars subsequent charges in a nolle pros situation. Prosecutors also held that Smollett had not paid the city of Chicago more than the $130,000 in fines and restitution related to the case, meaning he hadn't fulfilled his obligations under a non-prosecution agreement. And the story is still developing. Interesting. That's how the cookie crumbles. It looks like Jussie isn't going to be having to deal with that anymore. He isn't going to have to be dealing with it anymore. Or will he? Looks like he may have to deal with it just a little while longer. We'll see. We'll see how things work out. Seeing that we're talking about starting to lose the voice. No, it's early in the morning, sweetheart. I've only been up for a little bit of time. I wake up, I drink some coffee, and this is how I start my morning. That's bull. Well, no, I mean, that was on Fox. If they did make a deal, then he fulfilled that deal already. See, this is why prosecutors should be held to the same standard. As much as I may not like it, you have to remember that it doesn't care about my feelings. Go, no, I don't have the coof at all. No, that would be improper, but you don't have it. But as much as you don't like it, whenever you have a prosecutor that goes beyond what the law is, that's a win for American justice. It doesn't matter if you like it or not, because the law is the law, and they found that he should not have to serve any more time than he already did. He shouldn't have to pay any more restitution than he already has paid. May not like it, but that's how our court system works. You know, that's what we've been trying to explain here the whole time. We may not like, or people may not like that Trump is now the president, but that's the way the law goes. It's what you have to keep in mind. It doesn't matter about your feelings whether you like it or not. The law is the law. Speaking of the laws, the law reactions to justice for Laken Riley. On Wednesday, the trial of illegal immigrant Jose Ibarra for the murder of Laken Riley, a nursing student whom Ibarra killed on the campus of UGA, concluded with Ibarra sentenced to life in prison. Here at PJ Media, we demonstrated how the woke government at Athens, Clarke County, where the UGA is located, failed Riley, as did Democrats at every level. My friend and colleague Sarah Anderson covered the trial and verdict, and those who have sought to put an end to the border crisis as resulting crime weighed in on the outcome of the trial. President-elect Donald Trump shared his thoughts on Truth Social. Justice for Laken Riley, the illegal who killed our beloved Laken Riley, was just found guilty on all accounts for his horrific crimes. Although the pain and the heartbreak will last forever, hopefully this can help bring some peace and closure to her wonderful family who fought for justice and ensure that other families don't have to go through what they have. We love you, Laken, and our hearts will always be with you. It's time to secure our border, remove these criminals and thugs from our country so nothing like this can happen again. Governor Brian Kemp wrote in a statement on Instagram, because they don't need to write these statements into mainstream media anymore. Though we're glad that justice has been delivered on behalf of Laken Riley, we continue to mourn her loss with her family and friends and know that she should still be with us today. The information revealed in this trial was heartbreaking, and we applaud the bravery of Laken's loved ones for reliving that horrible day to ensure her killer faced the consequences of his senseless actions. We will not let ourselves forget Laken or stop working to ensure her memory lives on. This criminal should never have been allowed to enter our country. He certainly should not have been allowed to stay after shamelessly breaking our laws. Open border policies failed Laken Riley, and today's verdict is a reminder that the safety of our communities must remain our number one priority. While our state has taken considerable actions to address the impact of the border crisis, I will not waver in supporting efforts that secure our border and keep this state and our nation safe. Attorney General Chris Carr had a similar message. Laken Riley's death should never have occurred. It was preventable, which only makes this tragedy even more devastating. As the father of a daughter who currently attends UGA, it's absolutely gut-wrenching to hear the evidence that Laken fought for her life, fought for her dignity, and the statements made by her family and friends in the court break my heart. We're grateful to Sheila Ross with the Prosecuting Attorney's Council for ensuring that a conviction was obtained, and we will continue to pray for all who knew and loved Laken. Representative Mike Collins, Georgia, whose district includes Athens, Clarke County, and who is our congressman, not my congressman, had a simple statement on X: breaking, Laken Riley's killer is guilty. John King, Georgia's insurance commissioner, first Hispanic elected statewide official, weighed in. Our prayers continue to be with Laken Riley's family and our loved ones. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene expressed heartfelt sentiment. Laken Riley's killer, an illegal alien monster, led into our country and flown to Georgia by Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Secretary Mayorkas, has been found guilty on all 10 charges. His mother and lifelong Georgian, Laken's death is more deeply personal to me. Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones contrasted Georgia's quest for justice with Riley with the Democrats and their disastrous open border policies on the national level. And he says, while Washington Democrats put interests of illegal immigrants ahead of Americans and failed to protect Lakin Riley, Georgia, we are holding this predator accountable. Lakin tragically lost her life. While we can never bring her back, justice was served today. State Representative Houston Gaines, whose district includes part of Athens County, said who exposed DA Deborah Gonzalez's refusal to pursue the death penalty for Ibarra had this to say: Joseph Ibarra will rot in prison for the rest of his life, sentenced to life without parole. While this case was fortunately handed over to a competent prosecutor for the state, our local district attorney made the choice not to pursue the death penalty on day one. Amazing, huh? Amazing that you had DA Deborah Gonzalez refusing to pursue. Gonzalez not only wouldn't seek the death penalty for this heinous case, but she said she would take into account collateral consequences to undocumented defendants, and her policies led to her ouster on election day. She's shockingly silent on her X feed about justice that occurred on Wednesday. Instead, she thanked Joe Biden for one of his post-election tweets and featured tweets from the far-left Working Families Party, as well as tweets about Puerto Rican Heritage Month and World Kindness Day. It's a shame that Ibarra wasn't kind to Riley that February day. Thank God that Riley's family has seen justice for her horrific murder, but it doesn't bring her back, and her family will always suffer her loss. Crazy, huh? Crazy that a lot of people have failed to, they don't want to recognize that there's an issue. I've never been less surprised than that. Never been less surprised than that. Jon Stewart blasts Democrats' audacity. That kills me every single time that I see this one here. The audacity of Cope, and it's hilarious. Jon Stewart is, and always probably will be, a diehard leftist. That doesn't mean he won't go scorched earth against the Democrats when he has reason to criticize them. On a recent episode of The Daily Show, Stewart could not resist mocking the Democrats' over-the-top coping tactics since losing the 24 elections. And it was pretty damn good. He says, I assume now that the Democrats have lost to the greatest threat we've ever faced as a nation, that they will be forthright in acknowledging, one, the Democrats' role in the catastrophic defeat of, and two, the bleak hellscape we now face, Stewart began. Or, he said before, playing clips of House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and Goldman trying to spin the election results as a major accomplishment by pointing out that Democrats managed to flip 3 House seats and gain back almost all of those we had lost in 2022. Yeah, almost is doing a lot of work in that sentence. Stewart scoffed. Yeah, we almost gained back all that we lost. Almost is kind of a load-bearing adverb. Spin-wise, finding a positive, and clearly what it was not a good election for Democrats. Parents, we gained back almost all the children we lost on the field trip. Win-win, he said mockingly, but then introduced a new segment. Its new dynamic is willful, bright-sided. This shit show we can celebrate in our new segment called The Audacity of Cope. Stewart elaborated. Now, technically, yes, Democrats have less seats, but have you heard who's in the seats? Then he played a clip of Representative Pramila Jayapal, Democrat, Washington, attempting to put a silver lining on the dark cloud that was Democrats' election performance by rattling off a list of new congressional members highlighting diversity stats. And I'm going to stop for cheers for this one. This is each one of these because they're remarkable, Jay Powell began. We have our first trans member of Congress. We have an engineer from an immigrant community in San Fernando Valley. We have a first Iranian-American Democrat in Congress. We have the youngest member ever elected to the House from New Jersey. The last one really got Stewart fuming. That's not a thing, he exclaimed. How did you go from a reasonably impressive first Iranian Democrat to hold a seat to the, I think, somewhat reaching for youngest person ever from New Jersey? And by the way, to the audience, if you think that's framing, that framing is not that interesting. Wait till you hear that this record-breaking young phenomenon from New Jersey is 38 years old. Stewart is not wrong to mock the Democrats for this. Their coping efforts have surely drifted into outright cringe territory. Let's watch the clip. That's pretty funny. Oh, man. Is this one of our Kangienists? That's pretty funny. And it's good to see that he's calling this kind of garbage out. I think that it goes to show that he's finding humor in all of this, or at least trying to put some humor in it. I mean, no denying that he's still leftist, but also pretty damn funny. Well, there's only a few blue bruises in the USA. Ah, yes. It feels like that's pretty damn good. That's pretty good. I like that. That's pretty funny. And that's from Matt Margolis. Oh my God. Who was the young one? I don't know. I'm not from New Jersey. I don't know who in the hell that was. I have no idea. Oh my gosh. Oh my, oh my, oh my. And of course, oh, where is it? So this came in from the Fox News. We'll see how this one works out. Looks like it may freeze up on me a few times. So here we go.
Matt Gaetz is stepping down from his nomination to Attorney General of the United States. Many said this was the most contentious of the nominations made by former President Trump. And he has announced categorically that he will not be seeking confirmation to the post of Attorney General. Here are his words. I had excellent meeting with senators yesterday. I appreciate their thoughtful feedback and the incredible support of so many. While the momentum was strong, it is clear that my confirmation was unfairly becoming a distraction to the critical work of the Trump-Vance transition. There's no time to waste on a needlessly protracted Washington scuffle. Thus, I'll be withdrawing my name from consideration to serve as Attorney General. Trump's DOJ must be in place and ready on day one. Day one. I remain fully committed to seeing that Donald J. Trump is the most successful president in history. Matt Gaetz is stepping down from his nomination to Attorney General of the United States. Many said this was the most contentious of the nominations made.
Yep. And there it is. He's stepping down. Stepping down from that scene. Crazy, huh? Crazy that he's stepping down from that. And they're dancing. Oh, they're dancing. They think it's so glorious. Well, who do we have here to complain about that even more but CNN?
Republican National Committee Chair Ronna McDaniel. She ran the RNC during Trump's entire first term in office and for most of Joe Biden's presidency as well. Thank you so much for being here. I want to, before I get your reaction, read to you and to our viewers what Donald Trump just said. His reaction is as following. I greatly appreciate the recent efforts of Matt Gaetz in seeking approval to be Attorney General. He was doing very well, but at the same time did not want to be a distraction for the administration, for which he has much respect. Matt has a wonderful future, and I look forward to watching all of the great things he will do. What's your reaction to just, first of all, just the withdrawal?
Oh yeah. She used to work on Trump's campaign, like the first one. See, this is how these folks move amongst these circles. Because what does she bring to the table? What does she have to offer outside of running a campaign? What does she have to offer? I was trying to explain this to your mother before this nonsense that 53 R's is really 50. So we just can't just say that, hey, you swiped Michigan and Wisconsin, just take PA too. He can be appointed to the Senate because Rubio's appointment, at least, was chosen from New York too. Pause game right on there. It's always my pause game is always good. It never fails.
I think the numbers weren't there. He came here, he met with senators, they started doing the math. It was becoming a distraction. This was dominating the news. We were seeing the drip, drip, drip. And he did what I think is the right thing. He put his loyalty to the president first. He said, I don't want to be a distraction to this administration and getting the work done that President Trump needs to get done.
Read teleprompters much? Like, it's like she doesn't have any thought of her own, because you can tell that whenever they've got these little chyrons up, that's their talking points. This is how a news desk works. They've got a nice little teleprompter and they read all off of it, and they'll repeat the same thing. And it's no different from CNN to Fox to ABC to CBS to any one of them. Well, of course they target everyone. That we've grown used to that. And the thing is more than likely they knew that was going to be too much of a distraction. There was probably too high of a probability that he wouldn't get confirmation. The way those confirmation works is they would have to go through all of the Republicans, all the Democrats, and if you get enough Republicans saying yes, we would definitely promote them on, and you know that you've got it won, then you move forward with it. And then the rest of it's almost for show, is what it looks like. When you first saw her, I thought it was transtestical 1, transtestical 2. Oh, that's funny. Oh.
And I'm going to withdraw my name. And I think a lot of people agree with this decision.
You were around, and I'm sure you had encounters with.
No, she hasn't stopped being around. She's never left. See, Dana, what worthwhile thing do you provide to the world? Seriously, and you have to think about this. What is it that they're worthwhile? What is their value in the world? It's they give the news. Do they do anything outside of this? Maybe she's a wonderful gardener. I don't know. But in the Washington scene, she's all about talking about politics. Pause like that. She looked like she was trying to take a dump. She might just be. She might have just farted, for all we know.
Matt Gaetz as the chair of the party, just kind of taking a step back, the idea that he made some enemies in the House where he served and the United States Senate. How did that play into this?
Yeah, I think it was hard for some of these senators and others. He trolled them. He went after them. He wasn't going to win a congeniality contest. And then
it says former Republican National Committee chair. Yeah.
Suddenly he's in a position where he's saying, I need your support and I need your vote. The one thing I
that's
can say
exactly
about
what
Matt
they do.
Gaetz is he is unequivocally loyal to Donald Trump, and he always has been. He's been steadfast. And I think President Trump has said often the biggest mistake he felt he made in that first term was Jeff Sessions.
No, he thinks that the mistake he made was surrounding himself with people like you, with rhinos, people that didn't have his best interest at heart, that were looking to make money for themselves. That was his biggest mistake, was hiring people that never backed him. Gaetz never stood a chance, honestly. I agree, Volstorm. I don't think he ever stood a chance. I don't think he ever stood a chance.
I've heard him say it was my mistake 1 through 10. So this position is very important to him. And to have an attorney general who's going to be loyal, who's going to have his back, who's going to understand what President Trump wants to get done is critical. Matt Gaetz fit that mold, but he found himself in a position where he couldn't get the votes.
I want to Brought it out a little beyond Gates. Several of his picks have faced or are facing sexual assault or misconduct allegations. Pete Hegseth is dealing with this.
Yeah, they're working on him next. They're going to go through each one of these. You notice they have a hard time going after the women. For the women, oh well, they're not feminine enough, or they're too feminine, or any attack that you can give on somebody, they're gonna give. Oh well, yeah, they're not diverse enough. Whatever reason, whatever excuse they can come up with. How many days stranded on an island till you can give in and let Rana fry your banana? Well, I don't know. How long would it take for her to, to slim down and become worthwhile? How long before your teeth fall out? Oh, see, I'm married, so it would probably be a really damn long time. I would have had to given up all hope. How's that, Brandon? I would have to have given up all hope of ever being rescued. Let's get her on Survivor. Oh, that show is so fake. I remember the first episode of Survivor, the very first episode that they had of Survivor. I was like, cool, they're going to have all these people stranded on an island and they're going to videotape them like trying to survive. No, these people never struggled a second. This is so lame. It was like, it's all like, let's poke fun at each other. And I mean, come on. I was hoping some like Lord of the Flies kind of stuff here. And that would be entertaining. this crap of, and we're going to play a game and see who can pop the balloon the hardest. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Oh my God. Post pet volleyball friends.
This right now, RFK Jr., one of his top allies, Elon Musk, was sued by former employees who claimed that they were fired for raising concerns about sexual harassment at his company, SpaceX. What do you make of that common thread?
Oh, so now you're going after Elon. Oh, the horrible things that Elon did. Why don't we dig into some of the horrible things that you've done, Bash? Huh? I mean, why don't they dig into you? I bet there's some skeletons in that closet. Well, I mean, outside of the skin suit that's been thrown over that skeleton.
I think this is important to have a Senate. I mean, this is why they have to give advice and consent. And let's let the process play out. There's all these stories coming out. They haven't been convicted of any of these things. I think it's important for the senators to take this job very seriously. Also to give good advice to the president and to say, you need to go into these picks with eyes wide open and under.
Huh? Oh, geez, this lady. Which one is alone?
Understand what damage they may do and what baggage they bring to this administration. I think they're going to do it in a very considerate way. They're going to do it privately. They're going to talk to the president privately. They don't want this playing out.
Oh, and the challenges will be that they have to build a fence. using only the materials available to them. But I bet those turtles get crushed a lot. Oh, good morning. Good morning, Connie Carlson.
But then on the flip side, they understand Donald Trump just won huge. We probably wouldn't have the Senate without Donald Trump right now.
That's not true. That's not true. We probably wouldn't have this. Sweetheart, you got nothing. You got nothing. I hope Kid Rock gets press secretary. Oh, your dead father-in-law likes Survivor so far. The interim, I'm contractually obligated to pretend to pay attention to Survivor. Bring out the fart goblin. What faces? Just a.
And they want to make sure that they give the president the team that he wants to lead this country. He's not just trying to hit the ground running. He's running before he hits the ground. He wants to start day one, getting the things done that he ran on. And he wants the people around him that he trusts that will get that done.
Well, hello, Captain Obvious. Durr. What, you think he's going to wait 2 years to get shit done? I mean, do you think he's going to pull what Joe Biden pulled and sign a bunch of executive orders on day one that eliminate all the executive orders, and then the next day he turns around and re-signs them and makes new ones that are basically the same thing but not as strict? What do you think? What do you think? Do you see Trump doing that? I see Trump from day one having his team come in there and just annihilating all thought of you're ever going to allow this crap to happen again. Because see, he's not going for the heads. He's going for the body. He's going for the people that don't need to be there, that have been living off the government dole. That's the hope. Doesn't matter if it happens or not, because politics is politics, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, let's see what she's doing these days. I'm sure it's going to be help feeding Africa or some value-added activity. Yeah.
Trump was competitive with women in this election. He
welcome from Ireland.
Secure his victory. He lost
Greetings,
the female vote
Margaret
overall
Terry.
by 8 points, a smaller margin than in 2020.
Looks like a man.
So the question is, are you worried, as somebody I've talked to you?
Winning margin among female voters. See, here's the problem, you dumbasses. You keep using these freaking polls like it really means something. You keep using these polls like it really means something. No one cares about your polls. You're the only people that care about the polls. Why? Because you are completely out of touch with humanity. You're completely out of touch with who elected, who voted, who got these positions. You're out of touch. You spend your time pouring through polls trying to report something that's like reading freaking tea leaves. Oh, well, so-and-so predicted such and such. Don't give a fuck. So did Nostradamus, and he's also been proven wrong multiple times. According to Nostradamus, we would have been deleted like tens of thousands of years ago with his predictions. Oh my God. NBC fired her after a week. Amazing. Elections have consequences. Yeah, these polls mean diddly squat.
Many times about this. Got to get women into the fold, into the GOP. But
no, it's not about that. All you have to do is let the DNC do exactly what they do. Just let the DNC show their true colors, show how unhinged they are, how crazy they are, how their identity politics play into this, where they want to segregate people. It's not about bringing them into the fold. It's just waiting for you just to fuck up. I mean, because you are bound to do it. Polls are for people who have not to say or do that means anything. Thank you, Margaret. I appreciate it. That's right. That is right.
Both from the voter perspective and from the elected official perspective. Do you have concern based on that goal of yours that women will look at these picks and say, I voted for him to make?
Really? Do you think women are going to look? Well, why don't you ask yourself, Dana Bash? Why don't you ask yourself? I mean, you're a woman, right? Or are you not? Do you not have any thought outside of what the teleprompter is telling you? I imagine not. Imagine not.
Make the economy better, to make the price of eggs lower, to deal with immigration. I didn't vote for him to put all these people who have sexual assault allegations in his cabinet.
I think women.
Sweetheart, if you're a man, you're always going to have these essay essay complaints because it's a low hanging fruit. See, it becomes so tiresome when that's all you hear. Oh, so and so has essay. So and so has essay. Everyone has essay. Essay here. Essay for you. An essay for you. How about essay for you? Oh, you need an essay all over there also. Let's up essay. Yeah, that it gets tiresome. It's like the politicians screaming wolf so many times that people are like, are you telling me that every single dude in this area is a grapist and an SA committer and are you telling me every single one of them, every damn one of them here? I mean, what kind of scum are you people hiring? And I'm saying on both the left and the right. Essay for you, essay for you, essay for you. It's up, essay. Good Lord. Like it becomes the politician that cried wolf.
And knew who he was campaigning with. He was running with all of these people. He was doing rallies with them. I really do think voters are saying, we need you to fix this economy. He was elected on the economy. Those were the issues. We saw it. Women were facing it.
I thought he was a friend.
And
so do these picks
I think as long as he achieves his agenda, I don't think we'll be talking about the picks as long as these things get achieved. And as long as he lowers taxes, gets regulation out of the way, finds ways to help incomes rise, to lower costs for the average American family. I mean, Dan, I've talked to you about this. People in my state of Michigan, they weren't saying, oh, I like.
She looks like she's looking Dana up and down going, Dana, that skinny Skeletor like little body. I just want to, I would just eat you up. I'd pop you in my mouth and chew you.
I like this person or I like this person. They were saying, I can't afford Joe Biden. I can't live like this anymore. I can't have my car insurance be this high. My rent continue to be this high. We need a change. But I do think one thing about President Trump is he transcends party. He has brought in people to our party.
Oh, so now you have to have this to say. Now you have this to say. Check. You've pushed yourself into the area of not being relevant. Bash is awful. I mean, she's got a butter face. She's got a butter face. Just saying, be careful too, awesome dogs. The itch could be infectious.
That maybe don't even consider themselves Republicans. So if we think this is a new way for the party, I think that's a mistake. It's different with Donald Trump. He transcends party and changes the game and brings people in to vote for him that would never consider voting for maybe another Republican.
Well, let me pick up on that because if you just look.
Let me pick up on that because, well, are you serious that he get people on his side?
Get the House majority.
Right.
Yes, Republicans are going to be in charge. But it is a very narrow majority, probably the most narrow in recent history.
Really? Really? The most narrow in recent history? Really? The most narrow in recent history. I love to sing.
What does that tell you about Donald Trump's win versus what it means for your average Republican?
It means nothing. It means nothing. It just means that he won the presidency back. That's all that it means, that he's got 4 years. How would that change if it was a different Republican? How would it change if it was JD Vance up there? Wouldn't change a thing. It wouldn't change how it's up there. Sounds like an Arlene Foster on an ex-first minister we had here. At least the doll is better looking than Arlene. There you go.
I think there were people who came in and they said, I'm voting for Trump. And then they walked away and didn't vote down ticket and down ballot. We're probably going to have either the same House majority or smaller than we had coming out of 2022. So that tells you that we had a red wave. We won the popular vote. Donald Trump won the electoral vote overwhelmingly, but we're still not picking up more House seats the Senate map was so favorable. We're not going to have that same Senate map in 2026. So what I would be thinking is, how do we make sure those Trump voters know how important it is to come vote in 2020?
It wasn't just about being Trump voters. They saw how shit went down. This is how out of touch these people are. Don't tell us what we think, because that's not how it works. We've made our minds up for ourselves, whatever it might be. It tells me you suck at your job. Exactly. I bet she does. I bet there's a lot of sucking going on there. Too big to rig. Yeah, baby. Oh yeah, she's backpedaling like crazy. The only thing these latte sipping winos is that which Asian lady in town does nails the best and spending her husband's paychecks on handbags. Oh, Dana Bash looks like Jose Jalapeno on a stick. Jeff Durham puppet. But it goes to show how out of touch they are with all of it. With all of it. Why? Why does it tell you how out of touch they are? Well, you can find out more right after a short break where I go and get some more coffee. Go grab some coffee. We will be right back shortly.
Shizzy, when it's chat we thrive, where Shizzy does dance and memes arrive. No quiet moments, no dawn night. We laugh and funny sight. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. From shoutouts to those random screams, to inside jokes and endless memes. We talk and Shizzy, when it's chat we thrive, where Shizzy does dance and memes arrive. No quiet moments, no dull night. We laugh and funny sight. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. From shoutouts to those random screens, and inside jokes and endless memes. In Shizzy, when it's chat we thrive, where Shizzy does dance and memes arrive. No quiet moments, no dawn night. We laugh and funny sight. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. From shoutouts to those random screens, to inside jokes and endless memes. We type our hearts, we stand the love. Our chat rooms like a lit up club. Our chat rooms like a lit up club. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. Ooh, yeah, we come together night and day. We laugh, we play in our own way. A family in a cyberspace, loving hearts in this virtual place. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream.
Oh, the coffee is so good. Yeah, did Trump pick Dr. Oz? Yeah, he picked Dr. Oz. But who replaced Gates? Who replaced Gates right
Any
here?
good reality TV star, you probably remember Pam Bondi best from her many, many, many appearances on television, and specifically Fox News television. Miss Bondi even filled in as a guest host on Fox 3 times while she was still the sitting Attorney General of Florida. And she spent plenty of time on the network since she left office.
Murderers, rapists from Venezuelan prisoners coming straight into our country. They are coming to a town near you. It should scare and terrify everyone in this country. This is just one big press conference trying to smear Donald Trump, trying to hurt Donald Trump.
We do have evidence of cheating, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but we are still on the ground in Pennsylvania. I'm here right now, and we are not going anywhere until they declare that we won Pennsylvania.
That last clip you saw there was from just after the 2020 election when Pam Bondi was promoting the big lie that Trump had won the election. Bondi was, again, part of Trump's legal team that tried and failed to prove Trump's election conspiracies in court, filing multiple lawsuits on Trump's behalf in battleground states. And she has been one of his most loyal foot soldiers ever since then. She even stood by Trump's side during his Manhattan criminal trials and defended him outside the courthouse.
Listen, all the rights here, I'm a prosecutor, former prosecutor. Yeah, all the rights here go to the defendant because it's his liberty at stake. And that has not been happening in this courtroom. This case should have never, ever been brought.
All of that is why Donald Trump chose Pam Bondi to be his pick for Attorney General. She will be every bit the loyalist that Matt Gaetz would have been, just with a little more legal experience and a little less baggage.
There you go. The cope and seethe, the cope and seethe. You want to know who else Pam Bondi is? Right here.
These
Here you go.
criminals made one very big mistake. They wound up in Polk County. And I'll tell you, it's bad enough in one thing to profit from poisoning others, but it's another when you bring drugs from Mexico into our country, California, Texas, Georgia, and end up in our state and do it with impunity. Because when you're in this country illegally and you're doing things illegally, I want to tell you, and you wind up in Polk County, Grady Judd is going to find you. The DEA is going to help them. And my statewide prosecutors are going to lock you up for as long as we can.
And we're going to enjoy it.
And each of these defendants are looking at 30 years in Florida State Prison for conspiracy to traffic drugs.
Yeah, that's Bondi right there. As again, they will use everything that they can to come after people. Every single thing that they can possibly do to go after, off to the clink, to go after Trump's picks.
We take absolutely nothing for granted, and we welcome the opportunity to talk to any senator that wants to talk to us.
Did you sexually assault a woman in Monterey, California?
I have, as far as the media is concerned, I'll keep this very simple. The matter was fully investigated, and I was completely cleared, and that's where I'm going to leave it. Thank you very much.
And that's where he stands on it. That's where he stands on it. Oh my. Is this what I think it is? I don't think I can play that. Well, I know positively that I can't play that. But I can play you this. I know I can play you this right here.
Thank you all so much for being here this morning. I'm here to talk a little bit about the devastating impact of the failure of Republican leadership in Congress this week to pass comprehensive immigration change and the impact that will have on both city budgets and on services that we can provide for newcomers in the city. The second is we will start to have to greenlight a set of hard decisions about budget reductions across the city to meet those costs that we know will continue to arrive. We want to talk about two of those today. While they're the first steps, they unfortunately will not be the last and may not be the hardest. This is a plan for shared sacrifice. And so in terms of our first step on city cuts, we are announcing today we will make some changes both to our services at DMV and to our services on Parks and Rec.
And if you don't know who that is, that right there is the Denver Mayor, Mike Johnston. He cut services for residences so he can reallocate funds for illegals. That's what their plan is in Denver, Colorado. Ran, yeah. Wait, shouldn't you be saving money? Possibly. I mean, the cuts that they're going to make are to people's services. I think he made a deal that they would not release the report if he dropped out for a future concession. But listen to this.
Oh, sorry. Legal note. I have a legal note. Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations and has not been charged with any crime. Yeah. Gaetz previously dismissed allegations that he paid for sex, saying that, quote, someone is trying to recategorize my generosity to ex-girlfriends as something more untoward. Another legal note, Pete Hegseth's lawyer said he paid the woman in 2023 to head off the threat of a baseless lawsuit. He has denied any wrongdoing.
Just call the show Legal Note from now on.
Yeah. She had to backtrack again. Yeah. Yeah.
Or really long music. We'll be right back.
That's just like they have to backtrack on this crap over and over again. They have to backtrack constantly. You have to backtrack constantly on this. Question is, was Trump doing his 4D chess thing with his attorney general picks? Happy Friday, dear Cruiser Morning Brew friends. Fernigal didn't have the heart to tell the adoring crowds these days that the jorts-clad wizard of alt charcuterie were nearing an end. We're having some quick fun today. It's been an ongoing joke since the beginning of Donald Trump's first term in office. It was popular with both detractors and supporters alike for different reasons. Whenever something went awry or got a little weird with his administration, people would say that it was all part of a plan, that Trump was playing 4D chess and outsmarting everyone. Those of us who like Trump never really discounted the possibility, but mostly we like saying it because it triggers the haters. Yes, everything triggers them, and some triggers are more fun than others. We hit the first hiccup of the Trump 47 transition process, which Chris read about yesterday. One of Trump's more controversial picks for his upcoming cabinet has withdrawn his name for consideration. Former Congressman Matt Gaetz announced on X he will no longer seek the nomination for Attorney General. Gaetz was, shall we say, an interesting pick. He could be a thorn in the side of some of his congressional colleagues, something that endeared him to a lot of people. The nomination of Gaetz really sent the Democrats into a tizzy, something that endeared him even more to the people. Honestly, I had no strong opinion about the nomination, but I was rather enjoying the reaction. This is based on nothing more than a hunch, but the sexual misconduct allegations being thrown at him have decided Christine Blasey Ford field to them. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of chatter from people in the world in the know that Gaetz would withdraw long before nomination hearings began. There was also just as much talk about him getting putting into place, albeit temporarily via a recess appointment, that really got Trumpers' naysayers' knickers in a twist. Trump wasn't just caught off guard by Gaetz' withdrawal and naming the nominee to replace him just hours later, which Matt covered. Hours after Matt Gaetz took his name out of consideration for Attorney General, President Trump announced his new pick for the position. I'm proud to announce former Attorney General of the great state of Florida, Pam Bondi, as our next Attorney General of the United States. Trump's announced in a post on Truth Social. Pam was a prosecutor for nearly 20 years, where she was very tough on violent criminals and made the streets safe for Florida families. Then, as Florida's first female attorney general, she worked to stop the trafficking of deadly drugs and reduce the tragedy of fentanyl overdose deaths, which have destroyed many families across our country. Pam Bondi is an absolutely brilliant choice for Attorney General. Her experience as Florida's AG makes her highly qualified to take over the Department of Justice and get rid of the Merrick Garland swamp rot that is infesting it. She's very no-nonsense and knows how to throw a legal punch. The open borders people are already dyspeptic. My town hall colleague Sarah Arnold laid out why Bondi and the lefties melting down here, and this is her post, NBC melting down over Pam Bondi as Attorney General. We should all fear her because she's competent. She actually knows how to do this job. She knows what she's doing about immigration. She's a dangerous and effective pick.
Pam Bondi is exactly what I was saying in the last segment, that we should all fear, because she's competent. We may not agree with her ideologically, but she actually knows how to do this job. So if anyone on the Democratic side or anyone who cared about liberty or justice was thinking, well, maybe Matt Gaetz will screw this up and that'll give us some time. No, Pam Bondi knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing about immigration. Remember, Florida is one of those states that's been very aggressive about migrants and deportation and moving people to different states and everything else like that. Florida has enacted all sorts of rules and laws to curtail students and what they can do on campuses and finding legal justifications for manipulating education money. She is a dangerous and effective pick, and that's frankly worse than what we would have got with Matt Gaetz, even with the deplorable moral background that he has.
Yeah, and I want to discuss that with a little more depth with both of you, including her record on civil rights, LGBTQ rights, and other issues that are front and center at the DOJ, and which we know.
How are they front and center at the DOJ? That makes no sense to me whatsoever. Well, Sarah has some more choice videos on the article, including the clip of Bondi taking a shot at Dem Bay to male Mark Cuban. That's funny. Given Pam Bondi's close personal and professional relationship with Donald Trump, why wasn't she his first choice? Since we're having fun with the 4D chess idea, we have to wonder if the plan always was to eventually have her be the nominee. Perhaps nominating Gaetz first was merely a way to get to the Dems so worked up that they'd be more amiable to Bondi once he bowed out. That's how this game works, isn't it? Again, this is just a lot of spitballing here. Like I said at the top, we're just having some quick fun, but cruisers. You were saying, why would Gaetz resign from Congress if that was the plan? I hear there will be an open Senate seat in Florida once Trump's next Secretary of State is confirmed. Have a great weekend, everyone. And also make sure that you grab a hold of the conservative media piece of this and this is absolutely wonderful. This is something I found also. This is great. Oh, that's funny because I found that this morning. It was just wonderful, wonderful, interesting stuff. I knew we needed a little palate cleanser there, but for a really good one, for a really good palate cleanser. For a really good palate cleanser, there's always this right here. This one kills me every damn time. I'm sorry. It just makes me laugh uncontrollably.
We got to make the economy work for everybody, not just those at the top.
We need to take a break. We just need to have a word from our sponsor. Okay.
Washington is broken. The truth is, too many politicians are totally controlled by special interests and lobbyists. We're going to make America great again. I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
He approves the message.
Why would you play a commercial from my opponent in the middle of our interview?
He paid me in steaks.
I'd be afraid to eat them if I were you.
It's a good cut of meat. I think it's part of the asshole. Well, this has been a lot of fun, Mrs. Clinton. We should stay in touch. What's the best way to reach you? Email?
Oh, that just made me laugh. Oh, this next one is going to be great. Let me make sure. Yeah, it's got music, so give me a second. Give me a second. You're going to love this next one. This is great.
This is followed by Ruben Lago versus Nico Peace.
And nobody. And nobody.
So now here's where the music kicks in. So she's going to be talking crap, and she says, violence brings me so much peace. And if you're saying you probably can't understand that statement, Maid line carries herself like she's humble in front of the cameras, but she's very low-key cocky. She's been talking since we signed the contract. Like if you bring my name up, starts laughing. Multiple people have told me and said that it's a win for her. I'm not that good. She said, I'm only a woman because my last fight I beat a bum. Them anxiety attacks got you real arrogant, huh? Everybody's got a plan until they get punched. And I promise I hit harder than you took to get your degree. Boom, boom, and boom, 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 bam. Boom. Baby, just do OnlyFans. Oh, yeah. Who's the cocky one? Go back to your OnlyFans, sweet cheeks. Go back to your OnlyFans. Oh. Go back to just doing your OnlyFans. I do love the community notes. I do love community notes. Check this out on X. Community notes. We are selling our baby trebuchet. We only used it a couple of times. PM me for a quote. Look what the community note says. This is not a baby trebuchet. This is a baby catapult. Trebuchet has a counterweight. Killed me. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Oh, it just kills me. Oh, it just kills me. Oh, all right. Enough palate cleansers. Oh. Senator Bob Casey finally concedes race to Dave McCormick. Senator Bob Casey, Democrat of Pennsylvania, has finally conceded the Pennsylvania Senate race to Senator-elect Dave McCormick, but not without one last attempt to paint himself as a champion of democracy. Who's cocky? Maybe Mayor Pete. Casey's speech, which posted on X Thursday evening, was less a graceful exit than more of an exercise in self-congratulation and revisionist history, underscoring the very hypocrisy that marked his campaign's post-election antics. I just called Dave McCormick to congratulate him on his election to represent Pennsylvania in the United States Senate. Casey began attempting to sound magnanimous while ignoring that his concession came weeks after the race was called for McCormick. If the first count of ballots is complete, Pennsylvanians can move forward with their knowledge that there were voices that were heard, whether their vote was the first to be counted or the last. Well, he continued, this race was one of the closest in our Commonwealth's history, decided by less than a quarter of a point. Even acknowledging defeat, Casey clung to his campaign's legal maneuvers and recount requests, pretending to be some champion of democracy and not a sore loser trying to steal an election. Casey's boastful recounting of his campaign efforts to enfranchise voters was particularly rich. He proudly stated, we built an organization of 350 staff across the state, joined by more than 1,000 volunteers who helped more than 6,000 Pennsylvania voters make a plan to fix small issues with their ballots so their votes could be counted. Translation is, his team worked overtime to cure ballots in Democrat strongholds, hoping to find enough votes to change the election outcome. This disgraced senator lauded his team's success in court battles as well, with Casey intent on pushing the narrative that his efforts to steal the election were some crusade on behalf of the voters, not a desperate attempt to salvage his political career. From the 100-year-old woman in Butler County who voted in every election since she was eligible, the 19-year-old in Montgomery County who cast her ballot for the first time, we made sure those voices were heard, and we stood up against efforts to silence and disenfranchise voters in every corner of the Commonwealth. Then he proclaimed, thanks to our work in the courts, nearly 1,000 eligible voters in Philadelphia will have their votes counted despite efforts to throw them out. This work mattered, and I'm grateful to the many people who helped with this effort. Yet Casey conveniently glossed over the fact that the ballots that were suddenly being counted had been deemed illegal by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. That's a joke. He ended his concession speech by thanking his family, campaign manager, campaign staff, as well as Senate staff. But most of all, I want to thank the people of Pennsylvania for granting me the privilege of serving them for 28 consecutive years in public office as Auditor General, State Treasurer, and United States Senator. He added, every day I served in public office, I fought for Pennsylvania workers, our children, seniors, and people with disabilities, and our veterans. It's such a shame that he had to end his Senate career in disgrace. Good riddance, sore loser. Yeah, he's not on the he's not on the chopping block. Well, we do have some good news for Republicans as Dems don't grasp how fringe and crin their coastal elites are. Well, this certainly plays a big part in the current obsession reading Democrats' post-mortem analysis of why they got KO'd by a roundhouse punch. They never saw roundhouse punch, maybe roundhouse kick, but I wouldn't call it roundhouse. Maybe just a jab. They got not KO'd by a jab they never saw coming in the 2024 presidential election. I'm also deriving great comfort that the fact that most of them haven't the slightest idea why they failed. And that's good news, freedom lovers. I was very reluctant to make any predictions for this election. My pessimism was well documented, but I still never said that I knew what would happen in the end. There was, however, one thing that I repeated in conversations, podcast videos, writing that I got right. Since Joe Biden got in office in 2021, the supposed moderate Democrat had his party take an immediate hard left turn and hit the gas. Yeah, we know what was really the people running this brain who did that, but it happened nonetheless. As I watched the already progressive Democrat Party rush headlong to see how far left it would go, I was convinced that the party's radical coastal elites were leaving behind regular Democrats and the rest of the country. That conviction grew stronger this election year. Repeatedly said that I couldn't believe that Joe and Edna Democrat and Flyover USA were aboard with drag queen story hours and pro-criminal prosecutors. We now know that they weren't. In fact, they were rightward shifts even in deep blue states, indicating that some Democrats want the progs to pump the brakes on the raging lefty garbage. One of those pro-criminal prosecutors was tossed out by his ear by voters in Los Angeles. Still, the Democrat Party remains under the control of those coastal elites or who so blinded by ideology that they don't know they're on the fringe. I'm adding Illinois, Colorado, and Minnesota Dems into the coastal elite mix here. One Democrat in a deep blue state on the coast does not see how things really are, though, and it doesn't appear that many of his fellow Dems are listening to him. Representative Richie Torres, Democrat from New York, has been on a tear these past couple of weeks, making the case that the far left isn't doing his party any favors. This is what he tweeted the morning after the election. After the election, Donald Trump has no greater friend than the far left, which has managed to alienate historic numbers of Latinos, blacks, Asians, Jews from the Democrat Party, with absurdities like defund the police or from the river to the sea or Latin X. Amazing. Torres understands the Democrats lost as big as they did this year because they didn't want to go all in batshit leftist fringe leftism. And here's what he shared on earlier this week. We shared this yesterday. It isn't some red state Democrat trying to run the middle to hang on to a seat in Congress. Torres is a young, gay, Afro-Latino man who represents the district that abuts with the one that gave us Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. If I merely given you his bio and not shared his tweets, he was a whacked-out prog. Wouldn't have been a fair assumption. To make no mistakes, Torres is still a leftist. He's just not that far left. To you and I, Torres is making sense. As of this writing, we appear that he's a voice crying alone in the Democrat political exile wilderness. This is from the deep dive in the Democrat state of denial that my friend Stephen Green wrote about in a VIP post. More concerning is Denver Mayor Mike Johnson on Wednesday. I remind you just how important illegal immigration was to Donald Trump and Harris voters. Yet the Dem-dominated Los Angeles City Council, perhaps Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs, are ready to double down on sanctuary status for illegal aliens, but Johnson just took it a step further. reported that Johnson has challenged Trump to try to deport any illegal immigrants from his city, saying he would deploy the Denver City Police and volunteers from the local community to use his force against federal forces trying to deport illegals. More than us having DPD stationed at the county line to keep them out, you would have 50,000 Denverites there. It's like Tiananmen Square moment when the rose and the gun, he boasted. You have every one of those Highland moms who came out for the illegals. You don't want to mess with them. So other Dems are not only getting it, but they're also super duper double secret probation not getting it. The longer the Democrats who are in power remain clueless, the more time the country has to heal from the damage that Biden administration progressives' wrecking ball has done to it. I hope they never figure out that their open border insanity isn't popular, that their navel gaze themselves into at least 12-year timeout from presidency. Hell, let's make it 20. Let's make it forever. That those horrible policies stay out. I'm not saying all their policies are horrible, but a good majority of them are. Democrats in denial and other failures to cope in the second Trump era. Lessons learned is one of the most powerful weapons in a military's arsenal. A formal process for capturing, analyzing, applying knowledge or insights gained from past operations, exercises, or other events. While it lacks the dramatic presence of a M13 Abrams main battle tank or existential dread of a nuclear-tipped an ICBM. Lessons learned allows military organizations to avoid repeated failures, to build on past successes, and perhaps most importantly, to disseminate those lessons through the organization and enhance future decision-making. That's really what we need here, a lot more future decision-making. If there's a human pursuit as chaotic and prone to failure as military operations, it must be politics, because we know how bad it is. The military can quite adapt to applying lessons learned. There are, after all, lives on the line, so you'll allow me to paraphrase Samuel Johnson. When a man knows he's to be shot at in the morning, it concentrates his mind wonderfully. While the U.S. military and other organizations like NASA have lessons learned built into their processes, political parties generally seem to approach their losses and their wins, for that matter, with much less rigor. At first blush, it seemed odd. Elections, like war, are zero-sum game, fair or foul. Every election comes down to I win, you lose, I lose, you win. You might assume that parties would implement that. Formal lessons learned systems would kick into gear after each election, after tragic disaster that was the 2020 election. The RNC did indeed put together a study group to learn how to avoid a similar disaster. The Committee on Election Integrity, which produced the report, was created by RNC Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel in February with state's goal to study to make recommendations to restore election transparency and integrity in future elections. What we saw this past election, states undoing important safeguards, bypassing the proper legislative processes, changing election laws in the 11th hour, was deeply troubling and brought chaos and uncertainty to our sacred democratic process, McDaniel, the niece of Utah Senator Mitt Romney, said in February. Fast forward to 2024. And it worked. While it took far too long to give feckless government former RNC chair Ronna McDaniel the boot, her replacements, Michael Whatley, Laura Trump, put together a legal team that was ready, willing, and able to stop the steal. Yeah, made it really big. Flash forward to 2024, it worked. Why the hell aren't we doing this after every election? Win or lose, I silently yelled at my computer screen, but I quickly realized why neither Democrats nor Republicans regularly do so. You see, the military only has lives and entire nations on the line, but losing an election impacts something much less: precious egos. An army or navy is a long-standing institution, each going back centuries in most of the world, but a political campaign, particularly a presidential campaign, is more akin to producing a major Hollywood movie. Many specialists are hired from all over the place, and great sums of money are collected very quickly. And then the whole operation shuts down once the film is completed or the election is held. The national party committees play the role of the movie studios, and they have a permanent president, but don't directly control the big production campaign. The egos involved in running a presidential race are about as every bit outside as those of an author, a director, or a $50 million movie star. Winners' egos often proved resistance to learning lessons. I won, didn't I? But egos that got crushed on election day can dig even deeper against the truth. Besides, there is another election in 4 years, or so who cares what the losers think? Besides, there's a much easier to point our fingers and blame, 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 as Paul Simon sings. Some Democrats attack white women after the election for dooming Kamala. Economist Joel Kotkin wrote for the Telegraph this week, particularly married suburban women who turned out to care about other things other than sexual politics. Yeah. It's those damn married suburban women. It's those damn black and Hispanic men. It's the damn disinformation peddled on Elon Musk's ass. Anybody and everybody's to blame for their loss, except for Camel Toe Harris and her oddly phased sidekick Tim Walz. Over at Texera's liberal patriot Substack, political analyst Mike Bahrain looked at the abyss of denial, the persistent, insistent, but Harris ran as a moderate, Bahrain wrote. This view was perhaps best summarized on a recent monologue by a comedian turned pundit, John Oliver. Oliver said, if you want a centrist campaign that's quiet on trans issues, tough on the border, distances itself from Palestinian, talks a lot about law and order, reaches out to moderate Republicans, that candidate existed. She just lost. I'm not sure how you reach out to moderate Republicans more than appearing with Liz Cheney multiple times. Oliver and so many Democrats who follow this line of thought are an onion of denial. Every time you peel back one layer, there's another, and they all stink. More concerning is Denver Mayor Mike Johnson on Wednesday reminded you just how important illegal immigration was to Donald Trump and Harris voters. Yet, the Dem-dominated Los Angeles City Council and perhaps Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs are ready to double down on sanctuary status for illegal aliens, but Johnson just took it a step further. He's challenged Trump to try to deport any illegal immigrants. We already read all about all that. What is it with Democrats and insurrection anyway? Don't understand. Not that I want Democrats to learn from their Harris-Walz disaster, but I want you to see how badly they need to. The only state that didn't veer rightward on November 5th was the home state of Colorado, but I wouldn't be surprised if Colorado's election results were largely bogus, given the election shenanigans Democrats have gotten up to here since they took full power over the state government a decade ago, up to and including our deeply corrupt Secretary of State, Jenna Griswold, inadvertently leaked the passwords to our Dominion voting machines. Harris lost for any number of reasons, starting with how far to the left Democrats have moved and the intolerance for any dissenting voices that inevitably followed. Cenk Uygur is a committed lefty, but when he couldn't help but notice that now the Democrats are in a lot of ways a less tolerant party. If you try to give constructive criticism of the party to improve it, they drive you from the party while screaming, he's not a real Democrat. However, the most important reason for Harris's failure is purely personal. She was the least tested, least proven candidate run by either major party in my lifetime. Harris came up through the Bay Area progressive money machine. Once Nancy Pelosi puts her imprimatur on a young candidate, the donation floodgates part like the Red Sea. Having caught Pelosi's eye via Willie Brown, Harris never had to face a serious contest. As a result, her skills were so underdeveloped that she was forced to give up her 2020 presidential ambitions before a single primary or caucus was held. It's one hell of an indictment of somebody's political prospects when they have to drop out the year before the primary. Sure, Donald Trump had never run for office in before 2016. Still, he had been through the Republican primary process, and he had spent his entire adult lifetime taking the slings and arrows of an outrageous personality. Trump was tested in ways that Harris hasn't been and probably never will be, even after running her losing race. Harris-Walz was a virtual repeat of Joe Biden's 2020 basement campaign. She was kept coddled in the mainstream media's protective embrace. A candidate who honed her political skills might have been able to smoothly transition from Bay Area Prague to universally acceptable moderate, but as Glenn Reynolds put it earlier today, everything about her campaign was fake. Worse, everything about Harris herself was fake. Even her celebrity endorsements were purchased. What then is the lesson learned for Democrats going into 2028? Democrats need to relearn how to practice democracy. Biden became his party's nominee in 2020 because party insiders, the corporate robots Uyghur complained about this week, rigged the primaries against upstart Bernie Sanders, who appeared to be winning. Despite his obvious accelerating cognitive and physical decline, those same insiders denied grassroots Democrats the opportunity to primary Biden out earlier this year. That effort, by the way, cost them RFK Jr. as Biden's likely replacement, possibly another President Kennedy. When that same cabal belated forced Biden off the ticket into an intra-party coup instead of going through an accelerated primary process, reportedly that's what Barack Obama wanted, Harris was installed as the nominee. Lessons unlearned. High-level intrigues do not produce quality candidates or even candidates who are well known by the voters except to turn out for them on election day. Democrats, despite their name, forget that voters are always right. It isn't to say that voters are always wise, mind you, as we keep learning, or maybe I should say we keep failing to learn. H.L. Mencken wasn't nearly cynical enough when he observed democracy is the theory that the common people know they want and deserve to get it good and hard. But voters are always right in the sense that on election day, their decision is final. Sometimes primary voters pick a bad candidate, but it's better to lose a single election than to drive away some of your most talented candidates and worse, destroy your brand and dispirit your voters. Good morning. If we wanted to put dogs in women's bathrooms and swim along Astroglide all day, we need to win first, you morons. Pretty sure that was the crux of his message. Yeah. It's crazy out there. Yet they don't lose. They don't lose that cognitive part. They don't seem to recognize that middle America, folks like this right here, really do care.
And all these groups are coming down here, and it's a nice thought. Yeah. And they're building these tiny homes that don't have to be inspected, so it's a shed with an outlet.
They do have to be inspected. We're finding that out. And in fact, we had a person to donate 100 of them down in Barnardsville, and we got 25 of them put up for people to live in, and which was better than the dirt.
Well, of course.
And so they were living in them, and the county comes in and says they won't pass inspection. You can't do it.
Yeah.
So we got 75 of them sitting down there, because we can't do nothing with.
And we know I know like volunteers that have been coming in like every other week, every weekend, things like that are coming back, and they're bringing all this material, all these tools. They've got like already kits pretty much cut out. Yeah. To just put them together real quick, and I'm like, I've tried to tell them like people are not going to be able to live in these, and it's like maybe one person could live in there, and it's not living.
Better than a tent. I mean,
it is better than a tent for sure.
Yeah. They shut them down. They shut down the tiny homes. I mean, you've got the people in Pennsylvania screwing stuff up, and what happens whenever they get their asses handed to them?
Say things that are out of turn. We all make mistakes. I made a mistake.
Bucks County Commissioner Diane Ellis Marseglia apologized after indicating she would break state law to count ineligible votes in Pennsylvania's closely contested Senate race.
I think we all know that precedent by a court doesn't matter anymore in this country.
The commissioner tried explaining that mistake to her constituents.
I was referring to the United States Supreme Court and the precedent that has been lost on many issues, including Roe versus Wade.
Doesn't matter what you were saying, because you clearly were saying that you were going to break the freaking law, lady, that you were going to go against the law. This should make you step down from whatever position you're holding to never hold another position again.
Today, voters called on commissioners to resign and accused them of cheating in the election.
You need to resign today. You need to be fired.
Compared to all of you, being called garbage doesn't seem to be so bad.
A statewide recount is underway after Senator-elect Dave McCormick received 16,000 votes more than Democratic incumbent Senator Bob Casey in the initial count. Today, Philadelphia City Commissioners criticized but agreed to follow a state Supreme Court ruling to not count mail-in ballots with incorrect or missing dates.
We know we got that ballot in time, and therefore I believe, in my opinion, that that ballot should count.
More than a dozen legal challenges remain open in Pennsylvania, involving thousands of ballots. Even if every one went for Senator Casey, he would still be short of Senator-elect McCormick. Despite that, Casey refuses to concede.
Which we know now that he finally did concede.
Writing to donors, quote, Pennsylvania is the birthplace of democracy, and I'm not giving up that fight. I hope you're not ready to give up either.
Well, he did give up and he stepped down, conceding.
President-elect Donald Trump posted on Truth Social, quote, the Democrats are trying to rig the U.S. Senate election in Pennsylvania. Such a disgrace. The election was won conclusively by David McCormick. Tonight.
Well, and also you have to remember, Wicked Psychic, it was based upon a lie. The Roe v. Wade was based on a lie. That's why it failed. I bet those ballots went into the tallies. They would have been rubber stamped in the recount. But all of them have been the freest, fairest election. Freest, fairest election. But Miss Crockett will tell us exactly why the Democrats lost right now, right here.
Because you can then misuse words like oppression. There has been no oppression for the white man in this country. You tell me which white men were dragged out of their homes. You tell me which one of them got dragged all the way across an ocean and told that you are going to go and work. We are going to steal your wives. We are going to rape your wives. That didn't happen. That is oppression. We didn't ask to be here. We're not the same migrants that y'all constantly come up against. We didn't run away from home. We were stolen. So yeah, we are going to sit here and be offended when you want to sit here and act like, and don't let it escape you that it is white men on this side of the aisle telling us, people of color on this side of the aisle, that y'all are the ones being oppressed, that y'all are the ones that are being harmed.
Yeah, she said that. Yeah, she said that. It's crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. Oh, wow. This was just sent to me moments ago. Big story, big story. Give me just a second. Pull this thing up right here. Big story right here.
A gender war vote at Watertown Unified. It leads to possible big changes for students in the district.
The district is changing who can use which bathrooms and play in certain sports. Christina Van Zelst is live at Riverside Middle School. The board voted tonight. And Christina, you said it was just really emotional.
It was, Kim, and this meeting was absolutely packed. There were 450 people packed in the cafeteria. Another 100 people moved to a separate room to watch the meeting live. And then people who didn't get in, who were waiting outside the doors for when people left to come in so that they could speak. So a lot of people here tonight, more than 500 showed up. And then you had those strong emotions and strong opinions on both sides. So the school district was calling it their gender support plan. And the board did move ahead tonight with a vote this evening. They approved what it describes as Plan C, and that considers biological sex in bathroom assignments and sports. So students can only use bathrooms and locker rooms based on their sex assigned at birth. For sports, athletes can only compete on teams that are the same as the person's biological sex. Plan C also allows staff to drop pronouns or names other than the student's legal name. Now, the first plan that was discussed was that the school would continue operating as is, which was students could use bathrooms, locker rooms, and play sports with the gender they identify with. Again, we heard from both sides before the meeting started. Here's what parents had to say.
I don't feel that we need to have gender neutral bathrooms, considering that they've been sex generated our whole life. Why change it now?
I'm hoping that they could, the community comes together to make sure to protect all the children and not create any fear, or, you know, that we could come together and just have rights for everyone.
Tonight, the school board also amended a part of this policy, which allows administrators to be flexible with both district and Title IX policies. And the school board did say at the beginning of the meeting tonight that they appreciate people's passion and hearing from both sides tonight. Reporting live in Watertown.
And that was sent to me by the wonderful Megan Fox. Thank you, Megan. That's impressive. Wow. That's big news. That's pretty big news. There's also this big news right here, and this is from the AP. Pathologist disputes finding that the Marine veteran chokehold caused a subway rider's death. New York, for roughly 6 minutes, Jordan Neely was pinned to a subway floor in a chokehold that ended with him lying still. Well, actually, it didn't. He was still breathing, and his heart was still beating. But that was not what killed him. A forensic pathologist, and get this right, is a forensic pathologist, testified Thursday in defense of the military-trained commuter charged with killing Neely. Dr. Satishi Kundro disputed the New York City medical examiner's determination that Daniel Penny's chokehold killed Neely, who was behaving erratically on a subway the two men were riding. Penny's defense says that he acted to protect frightened passengers and he was only trying to restrain Neely and not to kill him. The Marine veteran's reaction to Neely, homeless and mentally ill, and I'm leaving out the damn race because this is just race-baiting bullshit, has become a flashpoint in national divides over race. No, it has nothing to do with what divides over race. You, AP, are what is trying to divide people over race. Because if you would have flipped this around and said that it was a black Marine veteran reaction to Neely, who was white, homeless, and mentally ill, it wouldn't change the fact that the person was homeless, mentally ill, and was losing their shit on a subway. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter if you said a white Marine veteran reaction to Neely, who was white, homeless, and mentally ill. It wouldn't matter. It has nothing to do with race. All it had to do with is some loon on a damn subway was threatening people and somebody stepped in. But they don't want you to step in. Penny's lawyers have argued throughout the trial that his pressure on Neely's neck wasn't sufficient and consistent enough to be lethal. The attorneys brought Kudrow to the witness stand to shed light on their argument. He told jurors that Neely's medical records and bystander video doesn't show telltale signs of known type of fatal chokeholds. Among the discrepancies, he said the location and the extent of bruising on Neely's neck and the small amount of petechia, small red spots caused by subsurface bleeding on his eyelids. In your opinion, did Mr. Penny choke Mr. Neely to death? No. He said Neely died from the combined effects of synthetic marijuana, schizophrenia, his struggle in restraint and blood condition, fuck you, AP, condition that can lead to fatal complications during exertion. The chokehold did not cause death. Prosecutor Daphne Yoren later sought to show that some aspects of Kudrow's testimony, including some about petechia, departed from some medical literature, and even his own opinion in other cases, he responded that the comparisons were not comparable. His testimony starkly contrasted the findings of Dr. Cynthia Harris, the city medical examiner who performed Neely's autopsy. She told jurors early that Neely suffered from asphyxial death as a result of the chokehold. She called profoundly improbable that Neely's death was due to synthetic marijuana use and sickle cell anemia, and that he was on drugs and they had schizophrenia, which is related but not equivalent to sickle cell disease. Within the medical examiner's office, the consensus was unanimous that Neely had died from the chokehold, Harris added. Why do you have to keep repeating the same? I thought we were talking about what he said. When they crossed paths on a subway car on May 1st, 2020, Neely was begging for money, yelling, screaming, flipping his shit. shouting at people, saying that he's willing to die or go to jail, making sudden movements, attacking, looking like he was going to attack witnesses. Penny's lawyer said Neely lurched toward a woman with a small child and said, "I will kill." Penny put his arm around Neely's neck, took him to the floor, and held Neely there with Penny's legs around him for close to 6 minutes. Bystander videos show Neely had stopped moving roughly the last minute. Penny's attorneys have said he continued to hold on while urging onlookers to call police because Neely had tried at points to break free. Prosecutors maintain he applied too much force for too long. I still take the subway, but this stuff is going to pick up again. Whatever police they surged are gone. Homeless outreach workers, gone. Something's up. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Something's definitely up. Something is always definitely up. Something like this. Right here.
Smiling Brandon Samosa being led out of the Midtown South precinct on West 35th Street this morning. Police say at about 2 a.m. Sunday, he robbed a 38-year-old woman in the hallway of her Hell's Kitchen apartment building. He allegedly grabbed her purse, cell phone, and bank cards and also performed a lewd act. The victim is a Manhattan assistant DA. She was not injured. Police traced her stolen cell phone to a hotel on West 45th Street, which led them to believe the suspect is a migrant, and they were able to track him down. Samosa was arrested just last night. Police say he was using drugs on the street and had stolen items with him. Police believe he is part of Tren de Aragua. That's the Venezuelan gang that has preyed on people in Times Square and Central Park. Samosa is facing a number of counts, including sexually motivated robbery and burglary. He also has 6 prior arrests, all from this year on similar crimes. And he's believed to have arrived in the U.S. in February of 2023. In Lower Manhattan, Lauren Glassberg, Channel 7 Eyewitness News. A smile.
Yeah. Yep. That's the Row Hotel. You would be correct in that. And they say that there's nothing going on there. They say there's absolutely nothing to see. Absolutely nothing to see. Nothing to see here. Just move along. Move along. And as we're finding out, oh, doggone it, what the hell? There we go. As we're finding out that everything's not exactly as you see. What is this, you say? What is this? Huh. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, would be missiles returning in from out of orbit. Those are missiles being fired into Ukraine. Oh, there's other views of this. It isn't just those. You're seeing these right here. Ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. And there it is. Ba-boom. Yeah. So while everybody's worried about all that crap, everybody seems to be concerned about who the next president's going to be. And we're seeing this, the effects of all of this. They deny that it's happening. They say, no, there's nothing to see here until they can't deny it anymore.
First, it was, can you confirm it was an
This looks like a
intermediate
dude.
range missile?
Sorry.
Second, did Russia provide advance warning? And can you give us some sort of clarity on who they call and how much advance notice did they give? And then just thirdly on this, what is the overall U.S. reaction to the missile strike and Putin's comments today that he believes Russia has the right to strike any and take action against countries that provide weapons to Ukraine?
Thanks, Lita. So trying to remember some of the order of your questions. So I can confirm that Russia did launch an experimental intermediate range ballistic missile. This IRBM was based on Russia's RS-26 Rubezh intercontinental ballistic missile model. In terms of notifications to the United States was pre-notified briefly before the launch through nuclear risk reduction channels. For more, I'd refer you to state on that.
What they're saying is Russia reached out. They said, we're firing missiles. They're non-nuclear. And see you on the other side. That's exactly what, well, not exactly, but that is about the crux of that. Because whenever Russia starts launching missiles, ICBMs, they have to let them know that these are non-nuclear, so that way they don't start World War III or a nuclear war. Eastern Europe has never been but a pain in the ass for the rest of the world, tired of being the world's police response force. I don't give a shit. Exactly, Yamaha. Exactly. Yeah, they won't admit where the person is staying because if you Google what's going on there, they have occasion walk by. It's an F show. Yeah, exactly. They don't want to. They don't want to let you know that it's the illegals that are causing these problems. That they have gangs spread throughout the United States. And was Trump right whenever he said that they're allowing criminals just to walk across the border? But yes, back to the missiles. Oh yes, now they have to admit. Now they have to admit.
And I think your third question was on our reaction to Putin's comments. I mean, we've seen this type of dangerous, reckless rhetoric before from President Putin. What we're focused on is continuing to support Ukraine with what it needs. Ukraine, as you know, has been successful in continuing to push back against Russian aggression. We just rolled out another $275 million package yesterday. You're going to see more packages continue in the weeks and months ahead left of this administration. So that's what we're really focused on. Of course, we're going to take seriously the rhetoric coming out of Russia, but our focus remains on arming Ukraine and supporting Ukraine what it needs the most on the battlefield. And
exactly,
as a reminder, as this reckless rhetoric continues, Putin can choose to end this war today.
Oh yeah, he could totally choose to end the war today. The only problem is America escalated it. So escalation is not a way to end a war. Escalation is not the way to end these problems. And escalation doesn't stop this from happening. Escalation doesn't stop this. At all. Putin said he'll only talk to Trump. Sounds about right. Sounds about right. That becomes a problem. I don't want to see your package, dude, lady, he, she, it, whatever they are. Exactly. Yeah, this right here is an escalation by Russia. No, this is a response from Russia saying you have started this crap. They don't want to be told what they're going to do. I think we need a palate cleanser is what we need. We need a little bit of a palate cleanser. How about we give a little bit of a palate cleanser? How about some soul?
May I ask a question about unemployment? The latest figures I saw indicated that of Black youth, something like 46% of those who wanted jobs were unable to get jobs. I really would like this time to ask both of you to respond to what would you do in that situation? If you would assume for a moment that these are people who do want jobs and are unable to find work.
I would, first of all, repeal the minimum wage law, because if you go back to, say, 1950, 1948, 49, 50, you find that at that time, the unemployment rate among Black teenagers was a fraction of what it is today. And there certainly wasn't any less racism then than there is today. What was different was that at that time, the minimum wage law was a decade old. It was a decade of inflation, and the law hadn't been changed. So for all practical purposes, it didn't exist.
Well, don't you think that was also a decade of expansion in which there were a lot of jobs, whereas today our economy is in a recession and there are not that many jobs
If you look at the
available?
most prosperous years of the 60s and 70s, you don't find Black teenage unemployment as low as it was in the recession year of 1949.
Well, I don't know what the job situation was then, but it's only recently that we have
I
reached
do.
the
I was a
point.
Black teenager in 1949.
Did you
it was
get
a
a job?
recession year, and after a considerable looking, I found a job. But the point is, the kid who was living where I lived then, who's living there now, he has a hell of a lot harder time finding that job, because there are so many good people who have tried to do good for him and priced him right out of the market.
Well, let's see, Yamaha. I understand what you're looking for. Let's see if I can. Let me see if I can find. Let me see if I can find it. I will look for that just for you, because it is probably one of my favorite ones. Let me see. I think I have it here. You said you wanted your blonde OnlyFans woman. Here we go.
So I just got home from work, and today, for the first
This it?
time, I dressed fully feminine in public, in the broad light of day. It was to a luncheon at my work with the board of directors.
Just remember, these are the people that they want to be in the bathroom with your daughters.
Of the theater company I work for. I wore my lemon dress and my keffiyeh. And you know, it in the grand scheme of things might seem like a small victory, but you gotta let yourself celebrate your small victories, because there's a lot of times when those big ones feel really few and far between.
Oh, I knew I could get Yamaha on that one. I knew I could get Yamaha on that one. Oh, it's so glorious. It's so glorious. Oh. Oh my God. Let me see if I can find it for Yamaha. I'll see if I can find it, because it'll take a lot of going back. It'll take a lot of going back, but I am sure that I will find this one for Yamaha. I'll see if I can find his lovely his lovely blonde. I have to go back a long ways just to find this. But it's going to be glorious whenever you see it. It'll put a smile on your face. It'll warm your heart. It will warm your heart. Oh my gosh. Let me see if I can. I'll have to find it for you. I have to find it for you. Let me see. Where is it that it was located at? Let me see. It is not that one. Or let me see. I will see if I can find it. This will be just for Yamaha. Just for Yamaha. That's pretty bad. Some of these are pretty good. Let's see. Let me see if I can find it. It is one of the most funniest things that you've ever seen. And I know it brings joy to Yamaha every single time just to see it. Let's see if I can find it. Google search for it. There it is. Let me see. It is. Let me make sure that it's not just this. I want to make sure that it's not something else. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. This will be. Here it is. Just for you, Yamaha. I don't get paid enough for this. Where's the number to HR? All right. This one's for you, Yamaha. This one's for you. Okay. Are you ready? You ready? Just for Yamaha, because I know that it's going to make his day. It'll make his day. Are you guys and girls ready? It's gonna get real. It's gonna get real. Here we go. His OnlyFans girl.
Work something out, and he was like, he needs to be picked up immediately because he threw up. He threw up because he has a weak stomach.
So it's no secret that OnlyFans is a pretty big deal.
There's his OnlyFans girl. His OnlyFans girl. Yes. There you go. Does that make you feel a little better? Or do you want to see the whole thing? Do you want to see the whole thing? Oh, God. Oh. Oh, my gosh. Let me see. Let me see if I can find a better version of that, because I have the whole thing. I have the whole thing. Oh, I don't see it there. Let's see. Home. Let's see if we can search for it here. Let me see if I can find the whole thing here. Because it was good. It was good. The whole piece of it. Wonderful. Oh. No, that's not it. Then why did you have to go? You have it already? I do have it. I do have it here somewhere. Like I said, it is one of those bookmarks that I've had for such a long time that I haven't gone back to get all of it. I only picked apart pieces of it because it was funny. But this one goes back to months. We're talking absolute months. I mean, I have to go through probably 100 to 1,000 different things. What I'll do is whenever I find it, I'm going to link him to it, Yamaha to it, so that way he can pull it up anytime he wants to. Give me a minute. Oh my God. Yeah, this could take a little while. This could take a little while. I forget exactly what the girl's name is, but it is damned hilarious just watching her lose her shit over this. But if I link it to Yamaha, he can watch it anytime he wants to. Oh my God. Some of these I could probably get rid of in a heartbeat. Like get rid of that one. I can get rid of that one. Oh yeah. There's just tons of absolute crazy trash that I've gone through over the past year. It has been almost a year since I started it. This is mental abuse. That's okay. There's a lot of name I can't remember. Not that important. Yeah. There is an interesting, and I'll probably just end up coming back to it in a bit. But I know that it is probably one of the funniest pieces that you're going to see. Her rant is amazing. Her rant is absolutely amazing. Let me see if I've got the see if I've got that there. Nope, that's not it. That's the wrong one. That's one of her other rants. She does rant quite a bit. Yeah, most of the stuff I have is just horrible memes. It's weird how that works. You get these memes in there. I've got stuff that goes back at least 3 years here. And I know it's not that far back. I know it doesn't go quite that far back, but watching these people get their asses handed to them. I've got stuff from Hurricane. That's about where I am right now. Oh my God. You guys are crazy. Let's see if I can find it here. And that is that it? I think. Nope, that's not it. There it is. I think this is the one. Nope, different one. There's a lot of these kind of rants. Believe it or not, there's a lot of people that rant about this. There it is. Let me see. Here we go. This is good. All right. This one is this is especially for Yamaha. Especially for Yamaha. Oh my God. Okay. Get your hand lotion ready. Get your cringe boots on. This one's going to make you feel dirty, and it'll put a smile on your face at the same time. Here we go.
I am so pissy today. Just downright motherfuckers today. I had to come up here. At fucking 11 o'clock in the afternoon. That's prime time. That's prime time. If you know what I mean. But listen. So that's partly why I'm cranky. But I'm cranky because my child is 10. I had to come up to the school and I had to pick him up. Why? Why did I have to fucking...
Why did she have to pick him up? Why did she have to pick him up? Tell us why she has
oh, please don't let me interrupt her.
Pick this kid up. I had to pick this kid up because he's a man. Okay, he's a little man, and he's got a weak ass stomach like fucking most men do. So somebody busted ass in the library. He threw up not one time, not two times, but 3 times in the library. Literally the nurse calls and she's like, "You're gonna have to come pick up your son because he just vomited 3 times in the library, like Exorcist style, all over the place." Why? He's not even sick. Some kid farted next to him and he said that it made his stomach feel bad. So I have to interrupt my day because some kid's got a rank asshole. That's a new kind of skid block. What? That's some bullshit. And I was like, does he have to pick it up? Like, can it be like an hour? Can we like work something out? And he was like, he needs to be picked up immediately because he threw up. He threw up because he has a weak stomach. What about the kid who busted ass so fucking bad that he cleared out an entire goddamn library? That seems like a problem. He seems like he should get some medical attention. Not my kid. Not my kid who's just got a weak stomach. Damn. It's not. I'm gonna Kool-Aid man through the side of a wall today. That's what I'm gonna do. Yep, I'm gonna do because I'm pent up and I got a lot of aggression.
Two things. Number one, that all that aggression can be taken care of. I'm sure there's a whole lot of men who would be more than happy to take care of your aggression. Number two, I knew she was prettier on mute.
Yes.
That voice, good God.
Oh, so let me do this really quick because I'm gonna have to link in just give me a second. Oh man. I'll send it. I will send it to his Discord. I'll send it to his Discord. That's what I'm going to do, so that way he has a copy of it for all eternity. With enough pressure, butt plugs going to become dangerous projectiles.
Trust the science. Trust the science.
Trust the science. Well, that's what I'm here for. To make people laugh, have some fun. I mean,
oh yeah.
God, serious.
Some of you people need to quit taking this shit so seriously. Jeez.
I'm telling you. I mean, so what's going on this morning with you?
Oh my goodness. It's starting to feel so much better. So I had to come on.
Did you get some rest?
No, rest still eludes me, but at least all my symptoms are clearing up. So
well,
I'm happy. I'm happy.
Are you going to be good to go tonight?
Of course. Dear Lord, come rain, come snow, come sleet or hail, I will be on FNL.
Oh man, you would not believe what I've got waiting for you. I'm going to have to show it to you after we show.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's going to be good.
If it is what I think it is. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I might have to do it. I had to actually go and do some like mid editing while it was working, because it was like, oh, this isn't going to be good. It was, and I didn't think it would do it, but oh no, it did.
Oh really?
Actually, yeah, it showed something that I was like, yeah, I can't show that.
I would like to see both versions, please.
I can't show the versions of it because I once I edited it, it was just like, nope. That had to go away. Oh my God. But yeah, it was one of those. It was one of those that I was just like, yeah, that's going to get me in trouble. That would have got me in big trouble.
Natalie and Heidi, it's cold as hell here too. Like in one day, the high dropped 30 degrees. It
dropped to how many?
cold, about 30 degrees.
Oh,
Like
really?
it went from a high in the mid 70s to a high in the mid 40s.
Wow.
It's cold as hell here.
Yeah, I know it's
Wait,
cold here too. I didn't
yeah.
realize it was that cold for you.
Yeah.
Oh man. Let me see. And we're gonna. Oh yeah, here we go. High definition, 1080p. Oh, that's much better in 1080p. Oh God, yes. That's gonna be a good one. I got. Go ahead and talk with these people for a second. Where can pull this?
Well, everybody's talking about how cold it is now. It is, man. It's like I got to the point where I was like, I'm gonna have to actually turn on the heat. This sucks. I'm the one that pays the heating bill.
I don't know how cold it is today.
It is currently a balmy 37 here in East Tennessee.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, it's cold. It's cold. It got down to almost freezing last night. I told Dave, I was like, honey, I'm afraid I might have to turn on the heat. And she's like, why? I'm hot. Like crap.
It's 39 here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nancy says it's 39 right there.
39 in Maryland.
Oof. Yeah. It's cold. I don't like the cold.
Oh, okay, Natalie. You're on metric. You're not on the imperial temperature of Fahrenheit.
Exactly. You're not where you should be. You're not where you should be.
You're not where you should be.
I'll give you a brief example of what I've got here. If this helps a little bit.
All right. Oh, yes. Yes. That's the direction we were going for. Exactly.
Oh, it gets better.
Yes.
I knew you much better.
I knew you wouldn't disappoint, man.
And I may still go in and edit it some more. It just depends on, because it does some really funky stuff whenever you start putting these together.
Yeah.
And I may just put together like a collage of stuff. And
that'll probably work best.
It might. We'll see. Because this is like I said, I've got some really good stuff. It's gonna be awesome. When you see it, you're gonna go, what the hell, man? What kind of nightmare dreamscape?
No. I'll be like, yeah, I expected this.
Oh, yeah. How is it going, Rosalind? It's cold.
Oh, it's cold in Florida. It's probably like 60.
Yeah. I mean, my brother-in-law's in Florida, and they're just like, yeah, we're expecting it to be a little chilly. A little chilly. But hey, I've gotten used to it. I've gotten used to it.
Yeah, I've gotten used to it.
So it's
we've got friends in Tampa, and they freak out when it starts to drop below 60.
Oh yeah. Well, and you have the orange crops that get totally destroyed when it gets down to freezing.
Oh yeah.
That's a crazy thing. So what do we have going on today? Well, today I think I may do something in the middle of the day. I've got a lot of crap to do. I was looking at doing some like video editing and putting together some intro music, like some bumper music together.
Your mom, where have you been? We've already showed the video.
Yeah, Mom.
you need to back the stream up a little bit.
Yeah, just back it up a little bit. You'll find it. You'll find it. It's good. It's well worth it. Trust me. Balmy 22 in Colorado. Yeah, people are already getting snow.
We got snow here. like not where I live, but like in the upper parts of East Tennessee, yeah, they got snow.
I'm, because now I work from home, I actually look forward to, another ice storm.
Right.
Just
Right.
I can mock it endlessly.
Dude, I think it's gonna be a very cold winter here in the South.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fully expecting it.
I'm sort of hoping that it is. I sort of long for those days where it's blistering cold and everybody's flipping out. They're going, "Oh my God, I can't make it to the store." It's like, well, get off your fat ass and go walk to the freaking store, and I guarantee you they have food there.
I want it to be like it was in January where we got like 10 inches of snow and I was the only one on the roads.
Yes.
Because I'm the only one crazy enough to do it.
I've got to get tires on my car today. I've got my tires are about bald on my
I know.
car.
I need to do that myself. I need new front tires. That may be my Christmas present to myself.
Yeah, I've got a 2013 and I've only put tires on it once.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
how much do you drive it though?
I mean, I'm sitting at what, 55,000 miles on it or something like that.
Yeah.
But you also have to understand that the tires that it came with were garbage. I think they were like 20,000 mile tires.
Right,
I mean,
right.
they're just like crap. So my wife was she had gotten a flat on one of her tires, and like it absolutely destroyed the damn tire because she kept driving on it.
Oh,
and so
yeah, not a good idea.
So I ended up taking one of her tires and put it on my car, and she was just like, well, I think I need to get all new tires. So I took all of her tires, changed them onto my car, and gave her new tires, and they were already worn down pretty good at the time.
Right.
And then when I was at work one day, somebody wanted to change out their tires, and they just swapped out all four. And so I grabbed two of those tires and put them on the front. And I've just been doing regular rotations on them. So I physically have only never bought any tires for this car.
Nice. Well, it was cool because when we got a new car for Diva, which I've driven mostly, we got this like tires and wheels package that you like pay on every month. So if if there's ever anything with the tires, we just take it to the dealership and they put on new tires. Yeah. That was like the only maintenance thing we were interested in.
I've been hesitant about getting new tires. I think it was our last trip out of town.
Yeah.
Our beach trip. We were driving back in the rain. Yeah, it got a little sketchy there a couple of times.
Not good. Not good.
I'm just like, I'm going to slow down. I'm doing like 70 or whatever the speed limit is, because I would never drive over the speed
Never.
limit.
No. You were doing 69. We all know this.
Exactly. I'm driving back, and I was like, I'm slowing down. My wife was sitting in the front seat, and the traction light is coming on.
That's not good.
Well, and I used to work for Honda, and we'd have these people. This never failed. We'd have a mechanic come in. They would do a brake flush or have to replace and Hondas are notorious for the ABS control unit going out.
Yeah.
Certain years that just crap out on you, and they'll stop working. You can tell because you hit the brakes and the car jerks one way or the other, or the lights come on and they don't fucking go off. And so you just replace that module, and then you flush the system out, and you pressure bleed the system out.
Yeah.
But you're not done there. You're not done there. And they could never figure out. They'd be like, man, I've done everything I can, and this pedal is as hard as a freaking rock, and it doesn't want to stop, and it sucks. And I was like, well, did you trigger off the anti-lock brakes? Well, how do you do that? I said, let me show you. Hop in, take them in the car, and you go and find some gravel. And you get going as fast as you can, and you lock that son of a bitch down. It goes, and you just and they're just like you're out of your mind, and then you pull it around and you drive it a little bit, you test it. If it's still stiff, you go and do it again, about 3 or 4 times of that, and then you get out, you swap seats and go, tell me if that doesn't feel better. Every single time, they're just like, you've got to be kidding me. That's all I had to do. It's like I've been screwing with this for like the past 3 hours trying to get. I've been bleeding it. I've been setting off the computer. I've done everything. It's just like, nope, that's all you got to do.
Sometimes you just got to take a hammer to it.
Well, Nanny, if your TPMS sensor went on 3 weeks after a tire change, and you have a Volkswagen, for example, they have a little button inside there that you push. You have to reset it there, and then you have to drive it a certain amount of miles. And then you also have to make sure that your tire pressure is in between 35 and 40 PSI for your TPMS sensor to go off. Depends on the vehicle. If you have a Chevy or a Ford, the Chevy, I think there's something you have to pump on the brake and turn the key a certain way. And on the Fords, you have to turn the key several times to one direction for it to reset. And then if you replace the TPMS sensor, like an aftermarket one, you have to get a tool, and then you have to reset each one of the 4 tires using a computer. Yeah.
I've also found on Fords that if you just drive the hell out of it, it'll go off.
Well, if you got a TPMS sensor on a Honda, all you have to do is take it in. More than likely, you've got a battery that went out. I've also seen tire installers break the TPMS sensor whenever they're putting them on. That's not uncommon.
Yeah.
And also, if you have the wrong size tire on your car, that'll cause it to go off too. Hondas are notorious for all kinds of things with that. Some of them may not even have a sensor. It has an external sensor that's not inside the tire. Depends on the year, make, model, all that kind of crap. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff like that. See, this is what sucks about being a mechanic and remembering shit, because you can't remember all that you remember.
See, I've just determined if I have another issue with my vehicle, I'm just gonna drive it down to you and be like, okay, what's wrong, Shizzy? What the hell's wrong with it? What do I need to do?
I mean, some of the weird stuff that with almost any car, you're going to find like oddities, like, like setting the timing on a BMW is different than setting the timing on like a Honda.
Right.
And setting the timing on a Honda is going to be different than setting it for a 1968, Chevrolet.
Right. Exactly.
And then there's different variables you run into. Like, is it carbureted? Do you have all the vacuum hoses hooked up? I mean, it's just like, it's like nonstop. The amount of knowledge that got pumped into my brain that you're just like, holy crap. And then most of the time you're just trying to bring that file cabinet back up, that Rolodex of shit that you've sort of only ran into once, like removing the wheels off of a 1980s 4-wheel drive. What tool you have to remove that shit with,
yeah, exactly.
I trust
now that
hammers
I've
more.
completely derailed your stream.
Put in neutral, hold the brake, press the gas pedal 7 times, activate the left blinker, and cycle the key between on, ACC 5 times with seatbelt engaged. That is about right. I think that's on the GMC that you have to do.
That sounds about right, because I had it's a 2001 Impala, and every time I would get the oil changed, it was like an act of God trying to press all the pedals and shit just to get it to reset. I'm like, this is stupid. Yes. Why can't
it is?
Because I had an 07 Impala where all you did was just push a button on the control and it was fine. I'm like, why that changed so much in 6 years? I have no idea.
Well, I mean, here you go, talking about blinker fluid. Can't find a store that still sells it. Hey, try finding some idiot that puts antifreeze inside because they're doing a coolant flush, and they put antifreeze inside the windshield wiper fluid bottle.
Oh my God, that's hilarious!
It is so awesome because they hit that. They're just like jump in, and they're just like, man, the car's still overheating. You go over, you're just like, what did you do? It's just like, well, I filled up, the coolant. I was like,
Sir, that's your windshield wiper reservoir.
No, I tell him, I was like, turn on your windshield wipers and tell me what happens.
Why does it smell like antifreeze? Why does the dog jump on the hood of the car and keep licking the windshield?
Oh, I mean, like we had this guy that came in a Honda, well, of course, because I worked at Honda. He comes in and he was like, I have this noise every time I make a turn. It sounds like water rushing. I was like, what? So I took it for a drive and I take a turn. You hear this whoosh of water. I was like, oh, I know what that is.
What was it?
Pull the car in and pop the plugs on it. Inside under the windshield in the firewall.
Yeah.
They got clogged up with gunk and shit like that. Pop those things out. It's all tranny fluid in the brake fluid reservoir. Oh, I have seen that too.
Is there something we need to know? Tranny fluid?
Tranny fluid. No, I had a guy that came in. He always would top off his brake fluid as your brakes wear out, your brake fluid level drops. And
right.
You have to remember that brake fluid is a closed system. So whenever it gets low enough, it's time to change your brakes. Also, the sensors will go off. Right. And whenever you replace the brakes, it expands that back out. All that fluid pumps back up into your reservoir fluid. Right. Now, you should be changing out your brake fluid on a regular basis also, but take it to a professional to do. It's much better. Trust me. Yeah. Well, it got down about halfway on his brakes and he poured transmission fluid in his truck and on his pickup truck, and he comes pulling in. He's just like, I've got all kinds of lights on. This thing's having a hard time braking. And I was like, all right. So I take it for a drive around the block. I just about freaking died. I mean, because like you'd hit the brake and it would just it would almost go to the floor. Ooh, and I pull it in and I pop the brake fluid reservoir off. And I was just like, that, tipped my finger in it. And I'm like, that's red.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not normal.
That's not the color.
And so I had, and what happens whenever you put transmission fluid in brake fluid, it causes all of the seals to swell up.
Oh.
So you have to replace almost the entire system. We're talking brake lines, any rubber brake lines in there, you have to replace. If not, it'll swell up and then you can't hit your brakes without causing major catastrophic problems. Right. And if there's any rubber parts in there, you have to replace. So replace all of that. And as we explained to him, it's like, we don't know how this happened, but you've got transmission fluid in your brake fluid. And he was like, no, I use the same brake fluid. I topped it off. And I was like, you may want to go check. He gets home, he calls back up and he says, I need to schedule my Cadillac to be brought in. Brand new fucking Cadillac. He did the same thing on.
Oh God.
He topped them both off. Luckily, he didn't drive it. He had it towed in and we brought it in, and all that we had to replace was the master cylinder on it.
Jeez.
Yeah.
See, I'm always leery whenever I'm putting fluids in a vehicle anyway. I'm like triple checking to make sure that I'm pouring the right fluid into the right, tube.
Yeah, exactly. Or you accidentally grab an antifreeze bottle and you thought it was windshield washer fluid.
Yeah.
My favorite is when people pump diesel into their Hondas.
Oh God. Oh God.
A full tank of diesel, and they pull out of the gas station and it runs for a couple of minutes. They're just like, I don't know what happened. It's just like you smell the tank. You're just like, oh, that's bad. Or else they get bad gas. I've had that happen.
I've had it happen
30 times. Have water in their tank.
Yep.
and you have to show them. It's just like, no, you've got water in your tank, because there's a test for that. You just basically put some fluid in there, you add water to it, you shake the thing up, and you watch, and you'll see it just completely separate. Yeah, you got water in your tank.
Not good. No, I used to when we had more Texaco gas stations up here, like in the 80s, they were notorious for bad, because it had happened to my mom like 2 or 3 times, and it was just like, okay, no longer going to any Texaco station.
Well, also the rise of ethanol has caused that problem, because ethanol sucks in water.
Yeah,
that
makes sense.
It absorbs water into it, like quite a bit. So, if you have a tank that sits around for a long time, it's going to get water in there. It just absorbs it right out of the air.
Yeah. And for all those people who decide to go to the regular gas station to get gas for your lawnmower, don't go there. I go to a marina, because it has to be 100%. They cannot have ethanol in those marine engines. And I get all my lawn equipment gas from there.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. At least he didn't put brake fluid in the transmission. I have seen that too. I've seen that too. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's a trick that we used to use back in the 80s, and the 90s. A little trick that you could do whenever somebody's transmission's starting to fail, and they know that they're going to replace it, but they just need to get somewhere with it. You take a couple of capfuls of brake fluid, put it in the transmission fluid, and it'll swell those seals up long enough that you can get it somewhere.
So it'll maintain. Oh, that's a good try.
I don't suggest doing it, because you've basically trashed the entire transmission, and if it doesn't work, you're screwed anyway.
Unless you're replacing the transmission, don't try that.
No, don't try that at all.
I'll be back in a second.
All right, brother. Yeah. If you go, you'll have a bad jeez all the time. Guess all the time. Oh, that's so bad, isn't it? Oh my God. I tried to start a business in New York, and it failed terribly. Even after 6 months, I was fired for being late. Filing quarterly taxes, it closed down. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, ethanol shields, you can watch it solidify the water molecules, and then they just get burned up. It also keeps the lines, rings, the seals, etc., from drying and cracking out. That's government overregulation for you. That's rats. Well, I got one more story for you guys. This is gonna put a smile on your face. Journalism or overpaid advertising. Camel Toe paid millions for interviews. When it was all said and done, Camel Harris blew through. Speaking her name and blowing through stuff between 1.5 and 2 million to get people to like her well enough to vote for her. What did Camel Toe get in return? Well, however, her reputation was for being one of the biggest spendthrifts in presidential campaign history. However, the saddest part about her campaign is she had to pay people to be nice to her. And my, oh my, the price of nice is spendy. All told, Camel Toe, now on a beach in Hawaii, burned through $1 billion a week in her attempt to buy the presidency. $100 million a week for 15 weeks. And that's the low estimate. When I was a kid, a mom down the street would call our house looking for someone, my sisters or me, or to play with her kid. I dreaded those phone calls. Play sessions were a struggle because the two of us had little in common. We were around the same age, and she was a nice enough girl, but she was a hothouse flower, a bubble child, very protected. She couldn't engage in rough and tumble play outside, no jump rope, no kickball. I never knew why. We couldn't go to the park across the street because that wasn't compatible with her skill set for some reason. We'd stay inside with her cat and play with her dolls, and she'd tell me about her adventures traveling the world. I couldn't always comprehend what she was trying to say either. Every word meshed together with the next, and she kept repeating herself, so it got tedious and frustrating. A dream of doing something else, often hoping we'd get a cookie that we seldom had around our house. It never happened that I could remember. It turns out Camel was that hot house flower, and she had to hand out a lot of cookies to get people to play with her. Camel could have gone to the playground and jumped rope with the other tougher kids, but everyone, especially her team, knew that wasn't her skill set. Indeed, there was a likelihood that Kamala would step on a verbal landmine, reveal her radical thoughts on the issues, blow up her campaign. So she paid people. They pretended to be doing journalism, and she pretended to be surprised by their question. Columnist and former CNN contributor Roland Martin sold his media company's interview to Kamala for $350,000. Media grumbled it should have been a hell of a lot more. More should have been spent on Black-owned media. Check your privilege, Roland. He called the business deal advertising. People in the media, such as MSNBC's Al Sharpton, pipped himself out to do an interview with Kamala that appeared to correspond with her two $250,000 donations to the National Action Network in September and October for a total of $500,000. He aired part of the interview on his MSNBC political show and never mentioned that he got paid for doing it. Chuck Ross of the Washington Free Beacon broke the original pay for play story, reported that the Society of Professional Journalists took a dim view of Sharpton's interview. This kind of entanglement harms the credibility of the journalist, the news organization, the journalism overall, and credibility is difficult to restore. The organization told Ross, while Sharpton may consider himself a journalist, many viewers do, Mr. Resist We Much may have some explaining to do as he cashes in his checks. SPJ told Ross in a statement that Sharpton's conflict of interest is part of the troubling trend among network news anchors who inform the public while engaging in unethical behavior that builds distrust among their audiences, places a black eye on both their network and their profession. It's the reason why MSNBC is failing, folks. This financier thinks that there might be a federal elections commission concerned about these donations.
Who actually considers Al Sharpton to be a journalist? They put these media personalities on there, and then they're trying to say, oh, they're journalists. No, you're not. You're a talking head. A journalist goes out and does work, like Megan Fox.
Yes. Yeah,
he is not a journalist.
No, never has been.
When you sit there in front of the camera and all you do is read a teleprompter, you're not a journalist. I'm sorry.
And then do that even horribly. I mean,
yeah, especially with his own agenda. Because look, if Al doesn't race bait, he doesn't make money.
No,
that's his whole. That's his grift.
That is his grift.
It's always been First, it was, you had Jesse Jackson doing it, and then Al Sharpton took over from him.
Yeah, because Jesse Jackson's in a wheelchair and can barely speak.
Exactly. Or he'd still be doing it.
Yeah.
Like how they pathetically rolled him out at the DNC. I'm
God.
Why are you doing that to that poor man?
Yeah. I think Al Sharpton has a private deal. Yeah, probably a couple. Oprah, who is more an entertainer than a journalist, is one of several stars who got paid to put on a show for Camel Toe. Oprah had to bring the entire production crew to the swing state of Michigan with a live paid audience and a bunch of zoomed in Hollywood types for an interview with Kamala for the cool sum of $2.5 million. Hugs all around. Oprah swears she wasn't paid. TMZ asked her, "Not true," she said. "I was paid nothing ever." Her company was paid, however, because Oprah's technical crews don't work for free. She didn't receive a personal fee. Journalists were willing to trim their sails, ask prescribed questions, sell their prestige, their airwaves, podcasts, or live streams for a pretend play date with Camel Toe. She even used other people's money to build a special playground in Washington, D.C. for one podcaster that cost tens of thousands of dollars. When I was young coming up as a reporter, we couldn't accept anything of value costing more than $15. Someone could give you a coffee, a scoop of avocado ice cream, real, or popcorn. One time, someone gave me a piece of poetry to help with a story I was doing about Christmas, if you can believe it. It had a $17 price tag on it. To my shame, I took it. Though I never allowed myself the ability to enjoy it, I still have it in a box, a memory of this blessed poem and a memory of my shame for breaking the rules. Another rule at the shop was we don't pay for news. In short, don't nobody get nothing for giving you a scoop. I'm not saying that entertainers shouldn't get paid for doing a job, far from it, but you've got to know your place. Reverend Al and Roland. If I were more of an influencer podcaster, maybe someone would want to pay me, but that simply has not been a problem. Journalism reputation is in the toilet right now. The only way out is do good journalism and market the hell out of it. In the last 10 years, a political insider called me and asked me if I'd write about their pet project for a publication I wrote for. I'd get paid as part of a grant and everything, but it was someone else's publication. And I told them I couldn't because it sounded like pay for play. That's unethical, I said. When conservative journalism is as viable source of income went to free fall because of the governmental and leftist censorship industrial complex, I thought about that offer for a fleeting minute or two. I sure could use the money, I thought. I would have done an interview with Camel Toe, and it wouldn't have cost her a cent. But would she have been willing to pay that price? That's beautiful.
Well,
That's
here's
poetry.
I don't have a problem with celebrities endorsing candidates. What
No.
I have a problem with, and where it's disingenuous, is where the only reason they're endorsing the candidate is because they're getting paid. They try to make it come off as if it's organic. It's not.
No.
And that goes for both sides. We all know damn well Hulk Hogan got paid to show up at the RNC. He did.
Yeah. And he made no qualms about it.
Right. He made no qualms about it whatsoever. But you've got all these, you got your Taylor Swifts and you got all these rap stars and the Oprah and this, that, and the other. They're not doing it for free.
No, and
this is not, it's not organic. It's not somebody coming out and saying, you know what? I truly believe that Camel Toe is the best direction for the country just based off of my personal feeling. No money involved.
Right.
Because when there's money involved, I mean, it's no different than watching a damn ad on TV with a paid spokesperson. It's the same damn thing.
Yes. I mean, it's like you think that Sly showing up and endorsing Trump, he wasn't doing that because he's going to get something out of it,
right? They're all they're all there to get paid.
Exactly. You have to understand that actors don't get paid that much. Overall, actors don't get paid that much unless you have some blockbuster hit and you become a well name like Sly Stone.
Right.
Think about who was the guy that the first guy that Sly shot in Rambo. Do you remember him?
No, unless it was Brian Dennehy in First Blood.
I mean, all right. I'm just saying you don't remember, who the guy was that went on to do CSI.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So you tend to, I can't remember his name, but it was CSI Miami, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. What
redheaded guy?
Yeah. I can't think of his name.
But what do you think that for CSI Miami? What do you think that he made? I'm sure he made enough to pay his bills.
Yeah. Well, he had a network deal, so he probably he's probably comfortable.
Yeah,
especially after so many seasons.
But think about this: from the time that he did Rambo to the time that he did CSI Miami, how many other movies did he do? That he was probably having to work another job. I mean,
he did a few, but they weren't well known. What?
The guy when it fell out of the helicopter always played a bad guy. A-hole. No, it was constant. Actors don't get paid a whole lot of money. I mean, overall, if you look at how many actors and actresses there are, they're not always making a lot of money. I mean, they're picking up parts wherever they possibly can. I mean, and musicians, it's even worse. Because unless you're selling multiple albums, you're not making a diddly squat. You're paying back the money that the studio paid forward on you. Because that costs a lot of money. You want to know who makes the money in the music business? It's your record producers. It's the guys sitting there like signing the check. Those are the guys that are making the money. The managers, musicians, ain't making deadly squat.
Exactly. And there's a reason there's a term called one hit wonder. How many of those are out there? It's like I made a ton of money off of this one song and didn't make jack after that.
Yeah, the guy that played David
Caruso. Yep.
Yeah. Horatio Caine.
Yep.
It's hard for people to understand this, that, you know, like if somebody was talking about, oh, I want to make it big on YouTube, and all it takes is extra. It's like, dude, you realize YouTube, we don't get paid shit.
If you're on YouTube to make money, you're going to be sorely disappointed.
Very disappointed.
Because
very disappointed.
Unless you've got thousands of people watching you, sending you in super chats,
hundreds of thousands of people.
Well, I meant a regular viewing show. I mean, a lot of times you're not going to have hundreds of thousands, but if you've got thousands of people sitting in the chat that are sending you super chats, unless you have that, you're not going to, it's just not going to happen, because the ad revenue sucks. I'll tell you now, it sucks.
It's like what 0.22 cents or something like that that I might get off of like a video that does, you know, 1,000 views.
Yeah.
Or if I do a live stream, I might get 50 cents.
Right.
Something like that.
If that.
Yeah. You don't do this for the money.
You don't do this for the money. But I know that
because you
right.
like
But I
it.
know there's a lot of people out there that get stars in their eyes and think, well, I'm going to get on YouTube and that's going to be my new job, because you're putting in the same amount of work as a job, but you're getting paid nothing.
Exactly. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, and that's where people are like, how are you able to constantly do this? Because 4 hours a day is about all that I spend on YouTube. 4 to 5 hours a day. That's about it.
Right.
Like this is why I don't go and watch a whole bunch of other YouTube channels or have time for it, because I'm like, if I have time for that, I will do some YouTube. You want to do YouTube? You want to become a content creator? Good luck. It's going to cost you more than you'll make.
Good luck. Well, they look at YouTube. Well, they see these social media influencers and they think that, oh, I'm going to make a lot of money on that. You know how rare that is? Very.
It's so rare. It is so rare.
You'd be better off taking acting lessons.
Yeah, it would probably pay a hell of a lot better in the long run.
Yeah.
Like especially if you can find a good coach that gives you good lessons. We're not talking about 50 cent Jack over there, you know, that charges you $150 for like a session. We're talking about somebody that's actually, and it has the results to back it up, can say, listen, these are the people that I coach. This is how I coach. This is how much it's going to cost you. It's not debatable.
Yeah, exactly.
Not the person is just like, I will tell you how to make it big in the music business or movie business. And then they run ads in the back of Creative Loafing or whatever local rag you might have in Dallas Times or whatever the hell music rag that they have out there. The people are like looking for musicians. You want to make it big in the movie business? Shit. Shit. Why are you running ads there? If you've got something, people are coming to you.
I was fixing to say, if you're that good, you're not running ads.
No.
People know who you are.
Yeah, because it becomes word of mouth. If you're good enough, what happens is someone says, "Hey, I'm looking to," you know, you're talking with somebody that's doing some acting. They're just like I'm looking to like hone my skills. They'll say, "Go talk to this person right here. They're going to tell you how to hone your skills." You know, whenever you're trying to grow your channel, you don't come looking at people like me. I don't know shit about YouTube. I'm telling you, you don't come looking at me. What you do is you want to go ask the people that has 200,000-300,000 subs and see how they got there. Go listen to those people because they're apparently doing it fucking right. I'm not.
Yeah. I could I've been on here long enough and know enough creators and talk to enough people to give you just enough to barely tread water. That's it. That's it. No, Yamaha. I've told you time and time again, the money is in selling the views. That's where you make your money.
Not
You have
buying
these
the subs.
you have these idiots that buy views and subs.
Oh,
You
God,
sell
yes,
to
there
them.
are. Yeah. Yeah. And that is the thing too, which I had no idea there were people doing that kind of crap. It's like, how shady do you have to be? And you can always tell those people because they have like 20 people that watch them on a regular basis.
Right.
Those are easy to spot. It's
Natalie said, tell me about it, Shizzy. I had to Google to learn how to subscribe.
That is so true. That is so true. Oh my God. Like you would not believe the amount of Googling that I have to do just to find out certain things. I'm like, there's got to be an easy way to do this.
Oh, yeah.
Issues that I've run in with sound, and I'm just like,
look, before all this, the only reason I used YouTube was to either watch movie trailers or to figure out how to fix something.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Pretty much.
I didn't follow all these drama channels and all this, that, and the other. And matter of fact, when the expert first got on, I thought, you're an idiot. I'm like,
He's still
really
is.
good. He's still, well, that never changed.
Now he's just proving he's an idiot.
It's just now I'm part of his idiocy. But no, when he first got on, I was like, really? You're going on YouTube? What do you think? You're going to be some big content creator or something?
Yeah.
And I just get on here because it's fun. Because I have free time at certain times, and I just have fun. That's the reason I love doing FNL. It's fun.
Exactly.
It's the reason I love doing the Sunday show. The Sunday show is so much fun.
It's a blast.
Have a blast. If any of you in the chat have never watched the Sunday show, Sunday Spice, you need to tune in, because nobody can take great works of fiction and completely destroy them the way all of us can. Nobody. I challenge anybody.
That's true. That's true. We could really
we are probably the most perverted bunch of individuals you have ever met in your life.
And we're talking about diva, like the most wholesome, sweetest thing. And oh my God.
That fake news. Fake news.
But when she breaks out those whips and chains, boys, I'm telling you.
Son, she's married to me. That's fake news.
Oh my God. Well, we hit the 3-hour mark. Everybody, I want you to, go show some love to Mo. And
we love Mo.
We love Mo. Give her some love and support. We'll see you guys on.
Bless your heart. I thought I was the only mentally challenged one here.
Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Early morning, rise and shine. Coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy Whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning, Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz nuts, start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning, Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning, Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Caffeinated, top the town, but in a jest. Morning Whiz is always best. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks
No
Larry.
way.
Shizzy broke Larry.
Have a good Friday.